Okay.
Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Diaries For Discussion. It's your host, Jermaine.
It's your host, Tuas, back at it again with another episode.
And today we've got two special guests in the studio. Can I introduce them?
Yes, of course. On our left corner, BBC Cambridgeshire New Voices winner over 100 competitors. He is also the BBC Essex presenter and development producer, filmmaker.
Many accolades.
The one, the only, Juggy Sohal. You know what I mean? There you go.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, you like that?
Right. Did he sell it enough for you? Or do you
Yeah,
want to
Do you want more? I mean, we're going to ask for your background.
Don't be humble. Don't be humble.
Yeah. But right now, we have the second guest on our right corner. Music artist, producer, entrepreneur,
Studio owner.
ladies
man.
ladies man, the one, the only, Rowan Bradley.
There you go.
There you go. Let's give you some.
There you go. How you doing, guys? Do you want to tell everyone a bit about background about yourself?
Yeah, okay. What do you want to know, man? Where do you want to
I mean,
start?
from the start, beginning, really. How did you get into what you're doing so far? Any more accolades you want to mention?
Do you know what? So how did I get into it? So I started on hospital radio.
Okay.
So literally in my hometown, Bedford, I was like, oh, do you know what? I really liked Chris Moyles with growing up, like listening to The Breakfast Show and everything like that. And I was like, I want to do that. And it wasn't until I was about 23, 24, kind of got the confidence to kind of go for something. And I was like, so I was doing a sales job. I was selling cigarettes.
9 to 5 job.
Yeah, 9 to 5. You know how we roll. Yeah, you know how we roll, right? So, and then I was like, okay. So every Friday night, I used to do like a special request show. You go around the hospitals, you ask them for like their request, and you play it out. And I was like, I've got a little taste for this. I've got a little taste. And then it wasn't until my normal job moved to London. So I was the guy selling the little dodgy ads at the back of the magazine. That was me, man. That was me, man.
The annoying ad guy.
Yeah, basically that was me. Yeah, so I was selling the dodgy little ads at the back of the magazine, and I was in like a media hub, and everyone was hustling on the side, and I was like, what is this? Like, what am I seeing? So I saw so many people. They were doing so many other stuff. So I was like, okay, I want to get into this, right? And then someone was like, what about Shoreditch Radio? They done a show on Shoreditch Radio, and they kind of got me to meet the guy that runs it, and I was like, okay, I want to come in. I want to do I do hospital radio. This, you've done a demo and everything like that. And they were like, well, what you got for me? I was like, okay, I want to do a bungalow show. I want to do a bungalow show on this station. They gave me a slot. A couple of months later, I was doing the weekend breakfast show.
Wow.
There you go.
Co-hosting. And then we ended up getting interviewing Craig David, Jay Sean.
Oh, that was within a few months.
Yeah, literally it was in
not
space.
a bad start at all.
Yeah. And then we got YouTube channel. We developed a YouTube channel for them and started filming stuff, starting to go to red carpet events, really using the name Shoreditch Radio.
It just showed you how quick, how amazing connections can be, and how quickly things can explode.
100%.
I've seen the videos as well, so I've seen your show reel.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I was like, I'm gonna fit that bit in there. Craig David.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what? I was like, we done a rap battle with Craig David.
Wow.
Literally, obviously he won. But just stuff like that, you look back, you're like, that's crazy, man. That is actually
definitely.
crazy. So then it just developed. I ended up doing more community radio, and then I was like, I need to get some TV experience. So I went on Seek channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember calling them consistently for about 6 months every Saturday.
Yeah.
I call between 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. I would call him. I'd be like, Uncle, it's me again.
Yeah.
Oh, Juggy, it's you by the end of the time. I was like, I need my own show.
Yeah.
You need to give me my own show.
Yeah.
Eventually, he gave me my own show.
Yeah.
On Seek channel. So I had my own talk show for 3 series.
Wow.
Developed, produced everything, and just get a taste for it, man.
Yeah,
and
it's that persistence. A lot of people feel like if I stay persistent, they're gonna think I'm too naggy sort of thing. But
They knew Juggy was calling at this time every Saturday, right?
That's what I'm saying. It shows you.
Shia LaBeouf, what did he do? He was calling producers, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
creative minds.
That's the thing, that you've got to be persistent in this industry, innit? Because there's so much competition and there's so much going on that you've got to kind of stand out. And then I was like, okay, I need to make the next step now. So I was doing community radio. I was doing kind of Asian TV channel. I was like, how do I, get the next step? So BBC, really. I remember I emailed 32 local stations around the country.
Yeah. Okay.
And I made it my mission to kind of go for the kind of whitest areas.
Right.
So I was like, I need to play the game a little bit more.
Yeah.
I need to play that diversity card because how else am I going to get in?
Of course, yeah.
And then they kept rejecting me. And then Essex and Cambridge got back to me I'd done meetings. They still said they haven't got room. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I went to their New Voices audition. Got through, ended up winning, and then they had to give me a job. I remember walking past the editor, going like, "Listen, oh hi, do you remember me?
The scheme of the job." How about you, Rowan? Man, let's hear a bit about your background today.
Well, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
I'll start back at uni when I was 18. I had a friend who was a film director and stuff.
Yeah.
And he quite randomly on the day asked me, "Would you mind doing a model shoot for us?" And I said no. I said, this is ridiculous.
You got the looks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
At the time, I was just thinking Zoolander, if anyone's watched that. That is what I imagined it would be like.
Yeah.
So they asked me to do that. I ended up saying yes because they gave me like £100, which is massive.
Big money back then.
Yeah. I hope you're not thinking we're going to pay you today because the way our bank account is set up, that's not going to work.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
But then long story short, it really got out of hand here. The same guy ended up asking me to go to the Philippines and do a TV show, which not that many people here know about anyway. You know
hometown
about this.
Philippines, man.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really a show in Cebu.
Yeah,
on a pretty big TV channel.
Yeah.
Legally, probably shouldn't get into that. I don't know if it's still going on or not.
No, I think they're
I
gone.
would be surprised, man.
They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. Yeah. But tell us about like when you was in the Philippines and obviously like the culture difference.
I know a lot about that stuff, which is interesting because I can talk to you about it.
Yeah, of course.
Not that many people know what Balut is.
Yeah. Balut is, guys, if you don't know what it is duck embryo, pretty much.
And that's a delicacy, is it?
It is, yeah.
And the older, the more matured it is, the more of a delicacy it is.
Yeah.
Is it actually rotten?
It is.
I wouldn't
I had
say
the
that.
30-day-old one.
Oh, he
like
did
that.
have the oldest one.
Live on TV as well.
Yeah.
So I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Wouldn't
It
be
was
nothing to
something.
you?
No, it was something like that.
Easy light work.
Yeah, you know in New York, they actually sell balut in bars and stuff. New York
really?
and San Francisco, yeah, they do that. So
Okay.
I can find the footage. I've definitely got the clip of that
Yeah,
to show
yeah.
you, but yeah, it was grim. And they didn't tell me what it was.
So you said no to the modelling,
No,
and then the same guy thought, you know what? Let me send him to the Philippines, and he'll say yes.
I didn't know what else I was going to do. I mean, before that, I worked in like bars and you know, washing plates and all the things you do when you're 17.
Yeah.
Worked in an estate agent.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Which no one knows really. I don't talk about this much. Everyone thinks you know, it's just some magical music. I've done loads of terrible jobs. I just didn't want to do them again.
Yeah, how about the music side of things?
So the sound guy there I became friends with, and he produced. So he ended up putting some software on my computer, showing me some things, and I got really interested in that. I was quite nervous on the camera
Yeah.
at first, but I was more really interested in the sound stuff. Then I started doing that. And then I went to Canada and I did an internship at a recording studio. It was kind of the same as Juggy.
Yeah.
I just kept bugging them.
Yeah, but you were in Canada with
Slightly different. What, did you go there with the, like knowing that you got that lined up, or you went there?
I
at
had
the
to
blue?
go. I had the interview, and I had to go there for the interview. And if I didn't get it, I had to go home.
Oh wow!
If I got it, I had to
interview.
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was. I told them this. So is that really the situation?
Yeah.
So I just went with two
That
big
takes balls.
suitcases.
That takes balls. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
What are you
relate to
gonna
that,
do?
though,
Yeah.
can't you?
I mean, yeah, with like, obviously the acting side of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
gotta
like
go
other
for
countries.
it, you know?
You got in this industry. So when it comes to like obviously you reaching out to producers of the what was the channel you mentioned?
Seek Channel.
Seek Channel, yeah. What, like, how did you find out about that then? Because it's not the sort of regular job that people would know about to sort of have this sort of thing constructed together to present it to a producer.
Do you know what? It's just I just done research, man. Like you got so many tools now. You got LinkedIn, you got social media. It's just finding a name. Like I remember for the BBC people, I wanted to get the Top Dog. So I remember calling up, just asking, like pretending I'm different people, and like going, well, "What's the name of the thing?" And once you get a name, I just kind of guessed. I guess.
Yeah. Who did you every new phone call? You got a new bit of information. That piecing it together.
And
Who
thing
did
is-
you pretend you were?
Huh? Just loads of people, man. Loads of other people. I'm going to use your name now.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, just like literally, like, and that's how you got to do it, man. You got, and I'm a people person. Like, I'd rather do it over the phone than an email because it's just you got to
more
work out.
personal as well,
And you got to work out what type of person you are. Like, some people email works perfectly, and they can write the right words and say this. Me, I'm just like, listen, this is me.
Give me a job.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Would you say presenting is like a natural skill you've got, or is that something you developed? Because it shows like you clearly got experience.
Yeah,
presenting,
definitely.
No, do you know what? I think if you got a little bit of like, I don't know. I think you develop into your own personality, right? So you've got to be a bit confident, but it's something you develop like naturally. Like you two got it. Do you get what I mean? Like
thank you.
naturally,
Thank you.
like just flow and stuff like that. It just, but you know,
It takes time.
It takes
a
time,
lot of
though.
failures. It takes a lot of.
Yeah.
Like I say, this is the first time I've had 2 guests in the studio. This could go really well or really bad. We're gonna see how it goes today.
And yesterday, obviously, I had the pleasure of being in your show yesterday, which then I found out how good you was as a presenter. So I was like, you know what, this
And
guy's
how
got
bad
it.
his earphones were.
Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna use my pod mic next time.
That
So
happens to everyone the first time, you know.
yeah.
You learn what not to do. I don't know
Exactly.
about you, but that
Yeah.
for me is
That's what she said,
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Same with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm a virgin, so
Okay.
we'll run with that narrative. Yeah.
What about Spain then, Rowan? I heard you done some stuff in Spain as well, like music
Yeah,
wise.
after I was in Canada, it was far too cold for me there.
Yeah.
I came back to England, and then actually no, I started doing a show from Canada on Barcelona City FM,
Okay.
which is it's the biggest English speaking station in Spain.
So it's also a presenter. We forgot to put that.
Yeah,
in
I've
the
got that in there, plug
I
it
did
in.
a dance show every Friday night,
Yeah.
which is something I'd love to do again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anything like that. And they in Spain you can go a bit wild on the radio.
Yeah.
They don't check anything. That's
Oh,
what
really?
they told me. They don't like
That's
it's
really
Spain.
uncool.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's late. Everyone. It's
Yeah.
constant. I don't know if you've ever been there, but
I've lived in Malta for a while, and there's a common saying: if you ever go to Malta, you'll hear everyone say "mela." It kind of means whatever. If it's not done today, it's done tomorrow.
honestly, if it rains, they just close
Yeah.
down. It's like that.
Yeah.
They're like,
Oh, really?
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, they have siesta in Spain.
Yeah,
So
it's
Yeah,
real.
yeah.
Like I'll
Yeah.
go for a coffee and there'll be people like 5-6 beers down, like 9-10 in the morning.
That's amazing.
It is cool,
Yeah.
but it's a bit
Yeah,
ridiculous.
get like a cerveza.
if you go there from London and you're on London time, you'll lose your mind.
Yeah.
It's like
We must have disappointed you here
everything's
today
late.
as well with no drinks. Just water here, sorry.
Fine, no, I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
I ain't. All right.
Maybe not Juggy. Yeah.
Well, do you dance as well then, or was that
Oh
just...
no, I don't dance.
Oh, okay.
I was about to ask him to go against me in a dance competition.
Oh, I
right now.
want to see that. I want to see
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll do some Jason Tatum. Like,
I know a
stuff
guy
here.
to do that.
Yeah.
One of my business partners, he can real dance.
Oh, okay.
You know who I'm
sweet.
Yeah,
talking
there you
about.
go.
Yeah.
Eat your words now.
Mate,
Yeah, if you want to do that,
yeah.
if people are going to listen to this and hold you to that,
Yeah, guys, I have an OnlyFans if you want to see me dance. yeah.
£5.
Yeah, £5.
Everyone has OnlyFans now.
I don't
innit?
have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But if you want me to have an OnlyFans, please, Diaries FD.
Lockdown has made OnlyFans big, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. I mean, we've got a guest coming on from OnlyFans, so watch out for that as well.
Oh, I
yeah.
recall that.
Yeah, shameless plug. But yeah, guys. So, in terms of how did you guys meet each other then?
So, Ro,
Just like most couples on the line.
he's sitting into my DMs.
There you go.
No, I saw. I don't know. I like to comment on artists and radio producers if I see someone doing well. You know,
Yeah.
throw
Yeah.
a fire emoji in there.
Yeah.
That's
That
good.
thing.
Supporting.
That help. Yeah, You
Yeah.
know, it means a lot for people like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
so I think the first thing I saw with Juggy was like an interview in the Radio Times.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many people know Radio Times. I know radio nerds do.
yeah.
I do. I'm like,
Yeah.
for me, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
when
That's
I
like
was
the
growing
Forbes
up.
magazine of
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then I saw more things, and I was like, this guy's doing good
Yeah.
stuff, and he was going to come to BBC Essex. So
Yeah.
I think I was just like, good job, keep it up, something like that.
And then I was like, come on the show.
Yeah.
And come on the show. But then I finished my my stint there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got him on with the other presenter.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like, and then I got him on my a short film and
Yeah.
everything like that. And I was like, look, just come on, because he said he wants to do some acting and he wants to
Okay.
get back into that. And it's
That's
kind of
the
like,
short version of it, because this happened right as lockdown started.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he
yeah.
ended up not going to BBC Essex. The first day that we were supposed to do it was cancelled
Yeah.
because Boris came on air. And,
Wow.
You know,
The next question that I do have for you guys, because I know that you've got a film coming.
Yeah.
Is it out already?
No. It's coming out in about a month's time.
Right. Can we talk a little bit more about
Yeah,
that
yeah.
film? I know it's called Tick in the Box, right?
Yeah. So it's literally based on like my journey, and I spoke to loads of other people, and you guys can probably like relate to this as well. It's like when you're in this, you know, you're from the BAME community, you don't know whether you're kind of getting a job for your own merit or because you're
yeah.
ticking a box.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know that little form that you have to fill out,
Yeah.
you know, age,
Ethnicity,
gender,
other.
ethnicity,
Yeah.
other, like all that stuff. And it's just like, you don't know whether you're kind of doing this or doing that. So basically, I wrote this short story. I wrote it from a perspective of a South Asian female, because I was like, I don't want it to be too autobiographical. I done it from that perspective, and then she kind of gets a job. No, she doesn't get a job that she does want, and then she gets a job that she doesn't want. So she's going to the pub to celebrate with her friends, and she's got like quite a mixed group of friends. And one of her friends has got a white boyfriend.
Yeah,
a South Asian friend's got a white boyfriend, and it's almost like they're educating him.
Yeah.
And like I wrote this before, kind of all the Black Lives
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and everything
yeah.
with George Floyd, and then it kind of became so much more relevant when we
Yeah,
filmed it, because
definitely.
all the protests
Everything
were
that
going
was
on.
happening, yeah. It's still
so-
happening right now, like.
Yeah, exactly. And then like in the pub, they meet like the kind of a couple that come from Nigeria to make it here, and they're playing the game
Yeah.
more and kind of using the kind of race card to their advantage. And then conveniently, creative license, the HR manager that didn't give her the job is in the pub.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a little
Wow.
bit of a confrontation, and this guy plays the bar manager, and he's kind of getting educated as well.
Yeah.
aren't ya?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I haven't heard that story you just said about your own experiences.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah,
makes
so
sense
close.
now.
So it was inspired by like
Yeah,
real
yeah.
life events sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's 15 minutes. It's got a cast of 10, like really diverse cast, and I think it's gonna be good.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
It sounds good as well. Like no one really does this type of films that like opens people's eyes. That it's not all black and white in terms of how the society looks. And in terms of like you being the barman, like how did it feel like doing this film and like the character that you had to kind of.
And was that your
Put
first
yourself
acting
into-
gig as well? Like.
No, I mean, I've done stuff since I was 18, but
Okay.
in England, I took a long break.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
long
yeah.
I was
break.
gonna say, have you not seen his face? That's an actor's face.
Oh, you've got the modelling as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't modeling isn't a thing anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone just does it for free online.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't pay
Everyone's a
anyone.
model now. Yeah.
Yeah, really. No, it's I mean, Juggy's a great writer.
Yeah.
That's, if anything, I saw that he sent me the script. He just asked me to look at it. I kind of knew something was up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It wasn't just for advice, like
Yeah,
purposes.
yeah.
What's your advice on this bar, man?
No, it was good. It's an interesting character because he's right in the middle of everything.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
As the not in the BAME community.
Yeah.
I don't think Gary's ignorant.
No,
I don't
he's
think-
not. He's not like he wasn't ignorant. He's just like
Not
naive.
aware.
He just doesn't.
Unaware.
Yeah,
Aware,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's not
Yeah.
like he's just going on about his life.
I think
It's like you
the-
don't
know,
know what you don't know.
yeah.
situations
Yeah.
don't really occur to everyone. You know?
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
really see it on the. You don't see it every day.
Yeah. If it's not your story, how are you gonna be in that person's
Yeah.
shoes? Do you know what I mean? How are you
Yeah.
gonna feel for that person?
Exactly.
Like Jermaine, you're an actor. Like, what kind of roles do you go for? Is it kind of?
Well, basically, I try and choose roles that I find really out of my character because I like a challenge as well. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily racially motivated, but more so anything that's outside of my comfort zone, I tend to go for.
Okay, okay.
yeah.
And what is your comfort zone? Like, so what kind of, is it more dramatic stuff you like, or more comedy? Or
I'd
This
say
is
more-
this is when the presenter comes in. Like, you
yeah,
can tell.
it's
Yeah,
flipped it,
yeah.
I
It's
expected
flipped the
this, I
script.
expected
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Anything that I think shows a lot of, I don't want to say emotion, obviously, because that's like a general, but more so like a vulnerable emotional state, like crying, like do you get that sort of emotion.
Okay.
Anything more anger, I find is more my comfort zone. But when it comes to showing like vulnerability, that's more outside. Crying on cue.
I was
can't-
gonna say, can you do that?
Get the Vicks and I'll rub
Yeah,
some
yeah,
Vicks in my
yeah.
eyes.
I was gonna say I can cry on cue, but
Can
come
you?
on, I'm not an actor.
Okay,
That's good.
yeah.
That's
should be,
the-
man. You should be.
I know. I know.
You need, yeah.
I know. I just think about like my dog. And then, you know
Oh,
that
yeah,
story.
you heard
Yeah,
the story.
yeah. Yeah, if you don't know, it's in life stories and hypothetical questions.
There you go.
But yeah, Asian, it's an Asian thing. yeah.
The coronavirus
It's
ain't
scary,
changing.
Yeah,
man. They
yeah,
eat some
yeah.
weird
I know.
things out there.
I know, well,
Unnecessary.
exactly.
Pig's face. I had that
Right,
one too.
yeah.
They put the
Adidas.
pig's head on
Yeah.
the table.
With the apple.
Yeah, and they cut little bits of the cheese.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah.
no, see.
You eat everything.
It's not really
Nah, I can't
necessary.
do
Every
that.
part of animal
Oh,
gets
wow.
eaten. So if you're
Chicken
vegan,
feet.
please turn it off right now. Come
Yeah.
back in 5 minutes.
Don't go there at all. There's no vegan places there.
Yeah.
Have any of you tried that vegan lifestyle before? No,
I
you
eat,
thought about it.
I eat vegan bars every morning.
Yeah.
That's about as far as it goes, though.
No,
Yeah.
it's good. I feel the health benefits.
Yeah.
I do. There's a vegan bakery downstairs
It's
as well.
expensive though, this vegan stuff.
It
Isn't
is,
it? It's
yeah.
quite.
Even
It
if
can
being
be,
a
yeah.
vegetarian either, like it's quite expensive. You go to the organic stuff and it's like what £5 for a celery.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just
It's like
found that there's so much crap in food nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that reads the back of everything.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend it.
Nutritional values.
Yeah,
No, I
it's
tried
like-
it. I tried it. It lasted like 2 weeks, but I think because I'm so used to eating meat dishes as well, it's
Yeah.
hard to sort of unlearn 27 years of what you've learned, sort of thing.
Right,
but
yeah.
100%.
I've just got really put off stuff, especially living in Canada and America.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had that experience there or you've gone to these places where they're,
I've been to
chicken,
Alberta.
a chicken breast is
Yeah.
like this big and
yeah,
there's not
yeah,
that
you-
one.
what is
yeah,
that chicken?
Oh,
on?
really?
That's,
put off.
why do you think they're so big up there?
Yeah.
Like when I went there, I was like,
they're 100%.
you know what I mean?
It's
They're
true.
either big or really like really.
yeah,
intricate.
and then tall as well.
Because your
It's
body
like-
just can't process all that stuff.
Yeah.
In Canada, I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
They have a sticker on the chicken
Yeah.
if it is grown without antibiotics.
Right,
So if
okay.
it doesn't have the sticker, it's grown with antibiotics
Okay.
and hormones.
Which is actually what you want to know. Like I think they should have that everywhere. To be
I
honest.
mean, I'm not a food scientist sort of guy,
That's
but
not right.
isn't most like chickens raised with antibiotics and stuff in this country now? Like, it's
Well, we're
fed
turning.
certain things,
We're
like-
going that way.
I think we're asking the wrong people. I don't think they're
Yeah, it seems
farmers.
like it.
You know what I mean? Like,
Going over my head.
yeah. Shall we bring it back to the film side of things? Yeah. So in terms of obviously the film, who is your targeted audience?
Do you know what? Loads of people ask this. I'm kind of like, I don't really have an audience for it. Like, I just want people to, like, people from that experience that to relate.
Yeah.
And then to educate everyone else about it. So I kind of want it like open audience. But obviously, I suppose people around my age, kind of like 20, like coming up to 30s and stuff like that. Like, so that's the kind of audience. But I didn't have that in mind. When you just write, you kind of write stuff, and then you're kind of just like, okay. And then I was just like, look, it's lockdown, let me just make it. Like,
No, I think depending on who watches it, everyone's going to watch it from a complete different perspective, depending on who they are as a person, like ethnicity, race and stuff. And I think you'll get a lot of different sort of feedback. Like,
I mean, we'll definitely plug it when it comes out, for sure. And like, in terms of like, because when I saw what the plot was and how it is, like, I look at it and I was like, you know what? Like, I can relate to this. Because like, obviously you do, everywhere you go to the hospital, you got a tick, right? So your ethnicity. One time I went to a job interview, and they asked me for my ethnicity. I actually just typed in white British. And when I got there, they were like,
look, man.
So I was like, hey, how are you? And obviously, as soon as you hear me, like, obviously I don't have the accent.
What relevance is it for them to have that
exactly.
information? That's why I'm actually...
But I mean, like I said, I think a lot of people is gonna see this film and be like, you know what, I've experienced this.
Well, 100%. Like, and you know when they go other, like, because I'm Sikh faith, right? So even like when they don't have my religion on there, I'm like, well, if you're gonna do it properly. Then have everything in there. Because and there's so many subcategories now. Like like
if there's an other, what's the point of putting anything? Like the other is so generalized.
You know what? I actually get confused because when they write Asian, Filipino ain't on there, and I was like, okay, I'm not classing myself as that one bunch. You know what I mean? If like you think of identity, it's like I want to say where I'm from. If you really want to do it like that, but I think like with the BAME community and how everything is right now in terms of the climate and how it is very sensitive right now.
Well, it is like even the whole BAME name was up for debate recently, wasn't it? Like everyone's like, and I kind of get it. Like I like using it because I feel like we all can relate. Like every kind of person in that community can relate to what what we're going through. But you're kind of just generalizing, putting everyone that's not from England in one like name. And it's kind of like,
to be honest, that word, the BAME word, I only discovered that within the last year or so. I've never heard of that word before.
Have you not?
No, I'd never heard of it. BAME. I've heard of a lot of terms, but not BAME.
I bet you thought that was a clothing line.
Do you know what? It should be. It should be, guys. Trademark.
Everyone's talking about it. Write it down later, real quick.
So with the producing side of things, then is that like what you started and you found a passion for writing or like directing?
Do you know what with producing? It's kind of like, so when you kind of get into this, and you guys will know, like by creating your own podcast, you want to create, right? So you want to like be the kind of voice and face of your own stuff, like because especially like because when you see they're not doing it, like this podcast that you're doing, people are not talking about some of the stuff that you guys are talking about, like not getting some of the guests on that you guys are talking about. So you want to create, right? So for me, with the producing side, I just wanted to bring my own ideas, and then I was like, I'm not precious about like fronting it, but if no one else is, I will be, I will do it. But like otherwise, like I'm happy to kind of just as long as these ideas and these creations are getting out there, and so it just kind of stemmed from that, really.
So I've got a question for you as well in terms of the music producing stuff. So I know you produce a lot of music. So how does that creative process like start for you?
I was actually thinking just like what you were saying. Like in terms of the music videos anyway, I ended up doing the acting myself because no one else was going to do it. You know, it's another reason why you start these things, because no one's going to be as passionate as you.
Yeah, of course.
So production, I was always in bands, but to be perfectly honest, we weren't very good. It was at the point, I don't know if you've ever been in bands where everyone just turns their instruments up and just starts slamming them. One day I was like, what if we all didn't play at the same time? And we had some kind of synchronization. And then I ended up, you know, being able to do it all on my computer, and it was just a case of the fact that I just do it at home. I'd have my headphones on and I could do it whenever I want.
I think ego comes into it as well, doesn't it? Like when you have a group of band
members. 100%.
I want to be the loudest.
I just wanted to make something good. Like I think the word producer is relevant in so many terms, you know? Because you're trying to get it done with what you've got. So you have to remove the ego, because unless you're doing it for ego, and there is a lot of that in this industry, people want to do it just to be seen. Or you want to do it to make something great. I want to make something great that lasts, you know?
Do you find it easier nowadays, like with the use of social media and stuff, to get your content out there and seen?
I find the opposite, because I think it's become so oversaturated. There's, you know, there's 40,000 songs every Friday released on Spotify.
That's right.
If you knew that. So how are you going to push yours forward? So what does everybody do? Everybody tries to go down the same path and copies other people.
That's right.
Sees someone else being successful and tries to do it like that, but it's impossible, because everyone doesn't have the same resources.
Exactly.
Everyone doesn't have the same circumstances.
That's why people go to labels. So I know loads of people go goes to the route of the 360 deals.
Yeah.
Well, you know what 360
Yeah.
is, where they obviously give everything.
I had one of those, and
Yeah.
it's definitely good to talk about. No,
Yeah.
you know, I changed my name for that
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
I literally changed. I had RO, and I
Yeah,
changed
see
it
that.
to a
Yeah, I
zero.
wondered why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I was locked in a contract, and there's loads of people that will speak about this, but they
Yeah.
don't really
Yeah.
speak out
Outwardly
about it. You
about
know,
it,
I
yeah.
can tell you loads of stories which probably
Yeah, they
shouldn't.
Talk,
Yeah.
tell us.
My friend. I'm going to say my friend. I'm not going to
Yeah, no,
try
of
to
course,
be
yeah.
affiliate.
Mr.
Yeah,
X.
Mr. X just he's been pushing independently, and he's done so well. And he just signed with one of the 2 biggest labels in the world. Yeah,
Okay.
won't use the name. He gave up ownership of the song. They gave him a big list of all the things they're going to do for the campaign. It came out and it went nowhere, and he's gutted. You know, he's pushed and put all his money and all his time into getting this far in his career. They put the song out. They didn't do any of the things they promised. He can't get out of the contract.
No.
Now they own the song, which he thinks is his best song, and it is shelved.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything about
That's
it.
right. Yeah, because that's the thing. Once you like give your creative
Yeah.
to them, that's it. I think that's why it's important for independent artists or artists coming up now to believe in your own stuff.
100%.
Like, I think the independent route is the greatest thing right now. When you look at artists like Frank Ocean, like obviously Cardi B's trying to get out of a contract as well. We know Kanye West.
Yeah, those guys are huge though. You know?
Exactly,
You get to
but-
that point.
Yeah.
It's a real struggle till then, because you know with radio particularly, you know the word payola.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Yeah.
You know, again, these
Yeah.
things aren't hugely talked about.
No,
but
no.
you know, most things aren't independent. Record labels very much control the radio
Yeah,
stations,
that's
because they
right.
say if an independent can just come on
Yeah.
and take our audience, well, we can't let that happen.
Yeah.
I've heard stories where you know there was this radio station and they were plugging this independent artist that was really good, and this big label came on and said, we're going to take off our entire discography.
Wow.
If you keep bypassing us. So
Wow.
what do they do? You know, if
Yeah.
big record label that I,
I mean,
won't name.
there
comes
is other ways to go about that though. So you can get deals for distribution, right? Rather than
that's a lot of the ways people do it now. I'm with a company. I will talk about them because they're great. They're called AWOL.
Okay, yeah,
A
I've heard
World
of them.
Artist Love in London. They're under Cobalt, which Cobalt own the
Yeah,
discography of the Beatles. So,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
like, they're
yeah.
massive.
Who doesn't know them?
Yeah, exactly. But they're really good because you get
Yeah.
to own the music and they do distribution.
That's
So
amazing.
I definitely those are one guys I would speak about that's worth applying for if you're an independent. They don't accept everyone. You know, they want
of
you
course.
to be at a certain level, which is good because it pushes you. Then you got to have your branding up to point. You've got to have all your channels.
It's like that accountability just
Yeah,
keeps it. But
yeah.
quite often you hear about like the labels sort of suing the talent. But is it hard for the talent to sue the label? Like in the instance of your friends, like if they didn't do what they said they were going to do.
Just look at the lawyers and the money they've got and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know how controversial we go on this show, but
That's fine.
What
Go
about
as-
does
You're
anyone
not
know
saying
the,
names.
the Avicii stories? Right.
Yes.
Avicii was getting really unwell towards the end of his career, and he tried to get out of doing a tour because he was like, "I'm sick, I'm dying." He had pancreatitis. His pancreas exploded.
Yeah.
You know, he had surgery, and they sued him for millions and millions of pounds for the shows.
Oh, wow.
Not just for the money that they were going to pay him, but the money they were going to lose for all the tickets and the
that's
drinks
right,
and
yeah.
and
The
you know
merch.
he ended up whatever. You know, we don't know exactly what happened to him. That can be debated.
Yeah.
But it destroys people's minds. You know,
Oh, it
you're,
does.
You know, you're trying to get into this to do art, and the next thing you know, you're being sued by the place that were really nice to you, asking to come and do a show and pay you.
It's not as rosy as it looks at the top, is it?
The industry can be quite corrupt at times. can't it?
Very,
They can,
very,
like-
yeah. A lot of people in power as well. Like, there's not as much gatekeepers as what there once was, I think, due to social media, but still at that level, they abuse their power quite often.
I think there's
anyway.
been a very big part of the industry has now come to take money off artists trying to get in.
Yeah,
You know?
that's right.
That's
Paywall.
changed massively.
Pay to win, as what people like to call it. Like you pay to get in, and then kind of they distribute and market you. And
And
everything.
what you can't do, you can't compete with the rich kids. You
No, of
can't
course
compete
not.
with, and that is
No.
what I've found, especially as a producer. You know, I've worked in studios, and at the end of the day, it favors who can afford it. It's like, you know, anything creative. You know, you need.
Well, money makes money, doesn't it?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
You need to be
yeah.
able to afford the equipment,
That's right. Yeah.
which is rough.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
is
It has
what we
nothing
found
to do
out.
with
Yeah.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're going down a money pit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
You know.
Do you believe that though? Money it takes money to make money.
Well, yeah.
I understand it to an extent.
Look at Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
literally,
yeah.
like Donald Trump's like the perfect example. Like the guy was the Alan Sugar. He
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
and now
yeah.
he
His
runs
dad was super
the
rich as
country.
well,
Like,
you know?
Yeah, and like I
That's
do.
a perfect example of that.
Like, honestly, like it does. Like I'm not saying it's always because in the end of the day, talent always wins.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
talent does, which you can see through
Yeah.
kind of someone that's kind
If
of
you just
bought
keep
their way
pushing
in.
and pushing,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
grind is a lot harder. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to think about the equipment. So if you like, let's say you're a great artist and you release songs that you use in like a really bad.
Oh no, of course. I mean, money helps.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
down
yeah.
Well,
with
you
it.
know,
I'm
you can
not-
buy a record deal.
Yeah,
You know, that's
yeah.
a thing as
That's
well.
crazy.
You pay
Yeah.
like 20 grand to
Yeah.
get on a certain label.
That's crazy.
And they do everything. They make your song, they
Yeah.
put you in with their producer, they do your
Yeah.
photo shoots, they do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, are you both big on social media then? Like in terms of not following, but like in terms of how much you use it, or
Do you know what? I don't actually like it.
yeah,
I
you,
don't.
and me, you and me both.
I generally don't like it. Like I don't like, and then I kind of, as I got more and more followers, I kind of took all my like kind of personal photos off. So I only kind of give people a little bit of an insight, like maybe
That's
a photo
part
of
of
my
the
brother and
branding,
sister.
though.
you got to
You've got to add yourself, but like you just got to promote. Like I do have to do it for my job. I don't like to, but I have to, and it's like it's the way you promote yourself now, isn't it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
definitely.
But I can see why people don't like it. It can be like very like you don't actually have it, do you?
Yeah, I don't have social media apart from my actual business Instagram, but I haven't had social media for 5 years.
See, I rate that. I think that's really refreshing, man.
I like the way you're like, I've been clean for 5 years.
Yeah, I know. I know. Trust me, it's so good. It's
No,
like,
I'm the same. I
Yeah.
don't have any that. I deleted all the apps off my phone
that's
a long
right,
time ago. So people get mad at me for not replying to them.
Yeah.
I said to him, I go,
yeah,
you
he's
need
always
to get
telling
on
me
it,
to
man.
do it.
I was like, for music as well, especially, man.
Yeah.
Like, it annoys me because I'm like, no,
Yeah,
you
he
need to be
does.
on it. Like,
He's
he's
always-
got like 15,000 followers. I'm like,
yeah.
listen, like, use
You
that
need
to your
to use it,
advantage.
for
Like,
sure.
do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a downhill battle, though. You know, again, it's pay for play. That's the other thing people don't realize. You know, how are Facebook making billions of pounds?
Yeah.
Because you're paying to reach those people.
yeah.
but then you've got to play the game.
Yeah,
Like, this whole media
then you're
industry is
in
game.
a
It's like
battle of
jigsaw
trying to get
puzzle.
more content.
Yeah.
What am I going to post next? Rushing around.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people do this. They're
Yeah.
always taking photo. Next thing, I'm posting my breakfast every day. And
Yeah.
I get
why
it.
don't you like it? Why don't you like?
For me, I think maybe I went through a phase where you get caught in that trap where you're comparing your life to everyone's show reel,
Yeah,
everyone's highlight
100%.
show
Yeah,
reels.
yeah.
And every time, and not only that, but also whenever I logged on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, I think, oh, this is my intention. I just want to message this person. And then the next thing you know, an hour later, I'm like, shit, I've been scrolling for an hour. Like, and time just goes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so
I
I'd
watch
rather
people do that. That's what gets me. Like I'll be at a bar and I'll
Exactly,
see a
yeah.
whole
No, so-
table of people just the whole time on their phones. I'm like,
Yeah.
No one's living anymore.
I completely understand, like, obviously your guys' perspective. I don't have social media myself, but for business, like,
Yeah.
Juggy is saying, it is perfect right now with the century that we are in and how like information is being taken in. Like, social media is the easiest way to be digested. And for the fact we do this, like, we give like an hour or 2 hours on our social media. It's like, right, let's do this. Then it's not tedious. Then it's still fun.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, I've learned to break it down, like
Yeah,
to actually set a limit.
yeah.
I think it can be a false economy though, because I know that artists that have, you know, one guy I work with, he's got 2,000 followers on Instagram,
Yeah.
but he's got 35 million streams on Spotify.
I was gonna say.
It
So
does
there
always-
isn't
doesn't always
actually a
correlate.
relativity.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like you guys, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, definitely. Because I know a podcaster that has 7,000 followers and she has 7 million streams. On
It can go the other
Yeah,
way
yeah.
as well though, because you know I know musicians. Again, not naming names. I know a guy 150,000 Instagram followers. He gets less than 1,000 plays on his song
But when you
because it's
see
the
things
wrong
like that-
people.
And also, when you see things like that, it makes you wonder if those followers are real or not.
Exactly.
Because it's so easy to buy followers now, ain't it? So
But it is like a highlight reel, like what you said. Like
Yeah.
it's a highlight reel,
Yeah.
and then like the annoying thing with that is people don't understand the struggle.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
so you guys were saying you guys actually started out in like your
Yeah,
daughter's
yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah,
like, do you know
daughter's
what I mean?
bedroom, yeah,
and then
yeah.
now you come to the studio. Like
Yeah.
people don't understand the actual effort. Like people
Yeah.
just think, oh, you got it given to you.
Yeah.
And then, but that's the kind of thing you're projecting as well because you're putting it up there.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, you don't see the struggle. Like, we was like in my car at one point, like recording in my
That was
car.
a step up. The
Yeah,
start was a
yeah,
start
yeah.
when your daughter's bedroom.
Daughter's bedroom.
When we
yeah.
first started, we was in his daughter's bedroom, sharing a mic, like
Yeah,
huddled
yeah,
around this
yeah,
mic,
yeah.
not knowing anything about channels,
Yeah.
editing, video editing.
Nothing.
Like,
Man, I
Yeah.
used to make vocal booths for rappers in my living room with two
Yeah.
mattresses. You know,
soundproofing with
everyone's
mattresses.
done.
Yeah.
Everyone's done the mattress vocal booth.
Stuffing the teddy bears in the
Yeah,
corner.
yeah, work too.
But you got to. I think it's great and innovative in a way because like things now, everything is like you get a lot of things the same. Like you get given a lot of same things. And I think like with innovation, like you said, when you started with mattresses and stuff like that, and how we started this podcast, like you got to realize sometimes you don't need, like we talked about earlier, you don't need that money right now. Just focus.
Depends how
on-
much you want it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What's your end goal?
Yeah, because the way we interact with our fans and people that follow us is we literally do true interaction. So,
Yeah.
like, people that we think through our marketing, when we follow people, we think they're going to like our podcast or we're going to like them as a person. So, we normally do it through that. And then,
Makes it more personal.
yeah.
like,
And they spread it through the word of mouth. And the word of mouth is still very big, I think, in terms of like before you get people to share, it's still word of mouth and stuff like that. But, yeah, man.
Yeah. No. So did you get a lot of support then, like when you first started like presenting? Like back in the day, way back in the day.
Do you know what? Like my family didn't really understand it. They still don't.
Yeah, my family don't.
Like
Until you
Asian
reach that
families,
level.
like you know, like until they kind of like and
Making
until you
money
get
now.
money against
exactly,
it, and until
yeah.
there's like actual, and because I've always been doing my presenting, produce everything as a side hustle, because obviously the bread and butter job is like, you know, the main
Yeah.
kind of earner.
right, yeah.
So it's everything's on the side. So until you kind of go, right, I'm a presenter full time or I'm a filmmaker full time, it's all like kind of side. So people don't really understand it. Like my friends and all that.
Just like a hobby sort of
yeah,
thing.
they're
Like,
just like, everyone's like kind of supportive, but like no one really understands. And I think it's like, unless you're in the industry, I feel like you don't really get it. Like
Yeah.
obviously
It's
everyone's being
isolating.
nice.
It's isolating, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can be, yeah. It can be like, but then you meet people in the industry
Yeah.
that you vibe off, and then you're
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay,
right.
you got your support system there. So it's not like people don't understand.
yeah.
It's literally, basically is that they don't understand, but it doesn't mean that they're not supportive.
No.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
That's right. Because where we spoke about obviously network, and like when we look at networking, we started with people telling us they want to be on your show, or like we reach out to people and then they'd suddenly give us their network and they're like, oh, this guy would love to be on your show. The same way that we've met Rowan and met you, it was all through that networking. And I think like we want to help. Like with our Instagram, we talk to other podcasters and we tell them like what worked for us and stuff like that. We help other people as well. And I think like in the industry right now, in the way the climate looks and landscape, we have to stick together. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not a whole like we're competing, because this industry is huge.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of the umbrella is massive.
See, I was gonna say it's small.
You reckon?
Like,
When you start to meet people that
Right,
know other
yeah.
people, yeah.
like
Until
you
then,
know from the film industry, right?
Yeah,
Film
yeah,
TV,
yeah.
like, everyone knows
Sort of seems
everyone.
to- yeah,
like
clicky, yeah,
literally,
yeah,
like
yeah.
once you're in the door, everyone knows everyone.
Once you're in
I
there.
kind of get now why they don't reply to people's emails.
Right,
As
yeah,
sad
yeah.
as it is, I don't
Yeah.
agree with it, but I get it, because
Yeah.
you start to see people doing the same things, doing the same traits, doing their days the same, taking
Yeah.
things seriously. You do start to see when people level up the difference. You know,
Yeah, I
right,
think from an
yeah.
outside perspective, it looks huge. But like you say, when you're actually
In there,
your foot in the
yeah.
door,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do, but you do understand why like people don't go through the interview process, because like if I got like so say I'm casting for my next film, if I know there's and I got it in my phone book, quick
It's so
dial
much
or
easier, yeah.
put a casting call out, watch
Yeah,
all these show
yeah,
reels,
that's
and you
right,
kind of
yeah.
understand like
that's
why.
massively different. You know,
Yeah.
massively.
I think that's a good like dynamic between me and you, because your foot's been in it and mine hasn't, and I've become like the outside looking into things in terms of the industry, and obviously that gives our like listeners and stuff like have that insight as well of like they're almost sitting in my chair. So in
Yeah,
terms
because
of
asking the questions that you're asking.
that's
sort of
right.
thing.
Yeah. And I think it's a good thing for obviously like this conversation. We wouldn't get this if we didn't like sit down and be like, do you know what I mean? Like how are things in the industry and stuff like that? They wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And I think like for Rowan, like being a singer songwriter, you'd say that, right?
I guess so. Yeah,
you would be.
Yeah, mostly because it was the same kind of thing, because I couldn't get someone else to do it when I was starting.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, when you're an artist and you're trying to get bigger artists to work with, when you first start, you have to go through managers and this.
Yeah.
It's all complicated.
Yeah.
You know, you'll talk to someone and they'll say, I'll talk to my manager, and I'm like, I'm talking to you right now. You know, I hate
exactly.
that. I hate it,
Yeah. That's right.
You know.
So, Juggy, have you ever met any celebrities that have been different to what you've expected?
Yeah.
Would you say, yeah?
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Like so.
Without saying names, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So I met some that are kind of a bit. Yeah, they paint the really good picture, like you say.
Online.
Yeah, and they paint
Yeah.
the really good picture, and they come across so well.
Yeah.
But then when you ain't got time for the crew, that's when you know, because a lot of the times I've been crew, right? And when you haven't got time to crew, and remember the crew are there first. Like you guys were here first
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
arrive. You guys are gonna probably be here last, like because I'm going straight away.
Getting
But like, do you know what I
picked up
mean?
in the
So,
limo.
no, but like, do you know what you got? And when you ain't got time to thank them or little stuff, and you notice the difference, like Amanda Holden. So I was working this morning, like the background, like behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
She was lovely.
Yeah,
Like she went up to one of the cleaners and goes, "How was your daughter's birthday?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Little stuff
amazing.
like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Makes a
little
big difference
stuff.
to people.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
little touches, like
Gratitude goes a long way, like, and like
100% common courtesy, man. Like that
exactly.
will get you far,
Yeah.
and that will get you. But then you got other people, and you just like they just don't care,
Yeah.
and maybe because they're at a certain level. But
Yeah.
I've been moaned at on set before for interacting with like the extras and other staff members, like the runners and stuff like that. I've actually been moaned at. I was just making conversation and I heard that the producer was moaning about the main like actor interacting with the other like the extras.
That should be the way, though.
It should be the way.
No, that should.
Oh no!
Leave all those little people over there.
as a manager.
Yeah.
You're fired.
Do you know what I mean? Like there is such thing as elitist, though, isn't
So
there?
on
Like,
set class warfare.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true. I used to do extra stuff, and yeah,
I've done extra stuff
it's
before.
good.
Yeah,
It's
I've done
not
extra
even
stuff.
that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
You know, the money's actually pretty good if anyone's.
Yeah,
But again,
If
it's all.
anyone's interested.
Yeah, well, it's not like that's
Hook
gonna
us
be.
up, man.
It's not going to be going for like 6 months, you know, at least till there's film sets like that. You'd think, but yeah, it's very segregated. You know,
Yeah.
I've been in a war film like in a trench for like 12 hours. Everyone's like freezing to death. And you see
Yeah.
the guys over there with their little cakes
Yeah,
table.
that's right. Yeah,
It's true, isn't it?
yeah. At
You
least
know?
give us a coffee.
Like, just be
do you know
nice
what
to people.
I mean?
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
it.
everyone started somewhere, right? So this is what people need to remember. Like everyone did start somewhere. So
Exactly.
everyone's probably
A
done
lot of
role.
people aren't honest about it. That's what gets me. It's like, tell your experiences, be real about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Or
get-
how they got there.
I guess
like-
when you get to that level, if you're like in godlike territory,
Yeah.
every photo you post, everything makes you look like a different level compared to everyone else. But
Yeah.
everyone's people, aren't they? You know.
I mean, like the question I have, like with this whole pandemic, like how was your creative process? Like how did it for both of you? How was the creative process for you guys in terms of how it was being able to not have those resources that you normally get?
For me, it was really tough at first because you know I made a studio to
Yeah.
bring people in, not just for me.
Did you? You made a studio?
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
know.
Yeah.
Like,
Where's that?
yeah.
I've been there a couple of times. So
Yeah. I heard it's good, but
These other guys are using the most. Yeah, but you can't. You know, as soon as we opened, I had clients from London. I
Yeah.
had rappers from around here, bands. Everything was cancelled. You know,
Yeah.
so in terms
the
of the
worst time,
independent
then.
industry, it's been, I think, catastrophic. I think there'll be people that won't ever recover from this. You know,
yeah, for sure.
but then. I guess I realized after a few months of literally it was a long time being stuck inside.
Yeah.
You can't change anything around you, but you can change
adapt.
how you look at things.
Exactly.
yeah,
So, you know, if you can keep your head, basically, you can work on your projects. There's never been a better time to work at home. But in terms of collaborating, it's been incredibly difficult unless you can do it online.
Yeah.
Then it's pushed people to be able to learn equipment
Yes,
and
that's
be able to
right, yeah.
work from home and do things like that. So
Yeah, even like us, we had to learn to record remotely.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
normally we're used to recording together, and then we
Yeah.
started
it
recording.
goes back to how much you want it, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. I mean, lockdown's been blessed for us. It definitely blessed us more than
Yeah.
it gave us the curse. But
A lot of people are in worse off positions. You know?
definitely. How about you, Juggy? How was that?
Do you know what? I actually thrived. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
so like at the start of lockdown, I actually had COVID. So I actually had it. For
Wow.
like
Oh,
2
you
weeks.
tell us now.
Yeah,
Yeah. Actually, no.
it's the closest to
Where's that mask?
But yeah, I actually had it. So I had it for like 2 weeks, and it was bad.
Yeah,
Like,
for 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah, like, and it's literally like, so usually when you're ill and you don't
Can you
know.
Just, I want to get this on. Make sure the quality is good on this. This part. Bring it right closer.
I actually did a test right after the film shoot. I didn't tell anyone. It was. Yeah.
But yeah, like, I actually had it, and then after that, you like kind of get a new lease of life. You're like, actually, like,
You
'cause-
appreciate
Almost
it.
died.
Yeah, well, not it wasn't that. I had it mild, to be fair, like compared to some people, but it's still like bad. Like when you're ill, you're usually ill for like a week, right, or like less than that.
Yeah.
This is ill for like 2 weeks, and I had to isolate because I live with my parents. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Can
in
I
my
ask you a
room.
question?
Yeah.
Did your parents give you the Asian remedy?
Oh mate, every day. Like, outside my
Asian
room.
remedy.
Literally,
Is there just one
what-
Asian
100%.
remedy?
What's these herbal remedies?
My mum was like, put garlic in water and drink it, and I was like,
I had that one.
Like,
I had that
why?
one. And the superstitions as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, like don't go to bed at quarter to
Yeah.
quarter to anything. I'm like, why not? Like, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
Like she
yeah.
goes,
Trust me.
your cough's gonna get worse.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
why?
She was like, stay at home and drink loads of garlic water, and I was like, Mum, I'm not gonna do that. Like,
That's why your breath smelled that day when you come to the studio.
you shouldn't tell these people that you've been trying to kiss me, bruv. Like,
I mean,
come
I
on.
didn't say that.
No, but like, my mum thought someone put black magic on me.
Yeah.
She was like, started doing
Yeah,
chilies.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
started doing chilies all over me.
Yeah.
Like after I got out of like isolation. But after that, I was like, okay, look, let me get a new life. I got
I'm alive.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And my job went because obviously the pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, I got into the film industry. Like I started writing. I got into film industry, and this is an industry I haven't been in
Yeah.
before. So it's like a kind of a new opportunities. And then since I done my film, doors opened. I started working on feature films
yeah.
and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
so
Yeah.
it's like it's amazing what you can create if you put your mind to it. Do you
Yeah,
get what I mean?
I think sometimes you need your back up against the wall as well. I think the worst thing
Agreed.
to feel is comfortable. When you're comfortable,
Oh,
you
yeah.
really don't
Get
feel
lazy,
no pressure
yeah.
to achieve more, try and reach whatever you're trying to acquire, sort of thing. So you need to.
Well, that's why I think the journey is so important. Like, if
100%.
I wasn't fighting for something, I don't think I'd be
Yeah.
content. I'm one of them ones that has to constantly have a new goal, and then I work towards it.
Have you ever heard you're never gonna work as hard as a hungry man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I
yeah.
haven't.
Never heard
Good
that
one.
one.
If we hear that on BBC, yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Where that come
Yeah.
Listen, man, let me have it.
You can have it. Where am I going to say that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think though, like creatives will create in the sense of like when you have that type of mindset, you become that. That's why we said that it's lonely sometimes.
It's easy to get down about it. Though,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it,
definitely, definitely. When you don't see the results that you want straight away, and then like how podcast is, it's a slow burner. We've spoke about this when you first started this, and it's like, mate, when we don't see the results, we just grind and grind and grind until we do. And now obviously we're seeing the results.
And then you have one moment where it's like
that's
something
what I say.
amazing
Yeah,
happens.
I wouldn't even say it's a slow burner because everyone's journey is different.
Yeah,
but
that's
it
right,
takes one guest or one moment. In, like, do you get what I'm saying? One
Well, you go,
connection
this is worth
to
it,
all
this
your
is what
micro.
I'm doing.
For it to blow. Like that's the problem. Thing is, the goals are ever changing, right? So you could start off like started off as presenter, then producer, then now film. Like you acting, now podcaster. Do you get me? You first time in the industry as podcaster.
right.
You got like
I don't know what I'm doing.
everything. Transatlantic, dancer, rapper.
When
like,
did I've never danced in my life. When is this coming?
Strictly condolences, sign him up. Like, but like I think goals are ever changing, and
Well, me and Juggy on Strictly Come Close.
That would be amazing. I'm for that. We'll go there as well. So we go like 2 versus 2.
Judging panel.
No, we're dancing too.
I'd do it just
I
to
wanted
make
to
him
learn.
go.
I need that pressure.
I'd be out in the first week. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never watched it, I'm not gonna lie.
So when you found out you had like COVID though, how was that? Because we've had another guest on.
It's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was like,
I mean,
hey.
what I'm saying is, like, for example, did you think, I need to reach, like, where did I get it? Did you find out where you contracted it? Or
So
like,
yeah. So basically, I went for lunch with my friends literally a week before, and it takes 5 days to get in your system, right? So we went for thing, and this is a time where we're kind of like, we had food, like blah, blah, blah. Everyone's like handshaking and all that, and then like I think someone like had a bit like, you know when you just swap food, maybe like that.
Have you got hand sanitizer? Because I shook this man's hand.
Replaying all these like, interactions.
Listen, guys, alright, the antibodies are gone.
Isolating this booth.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna start eating each other.
But like basically, and then them two got it. Two of the people. So one of the girls is a doctor.
Okay.
She's actually was on the like front line, and she got it, and then they were like, look, watch out. And then like 5 days later, I started getting symptoms, and I was just like, I just literally stayed in my room. And when you stay in your room, that's the hardest.
Yeah.
That's the
Especially
hardest
as a
thing.
creative. Like,
And you're just like sitting there, and you're like, and you're just too tired to do anything.
Yeah.
And it was like really weird. Like I was trying to sign up to stuff, but in the end, I just slept. Like literally.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a good, mentally, you're not in a good place. Like I see why it's affected a lot of people.
Definitely.
That's what one of our previous guests said as well. Like, you just feel so like there's no energy sort of thing to do
Yeah.
anything. Like,
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, like, Rowan, did you contract COVID?
I did not.
Let's
no,
just
I
ask
can't deal
everyone
with
in this
that.
room now.
I can't deal with that. I thought I did after the film set, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Did ya?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Paolo was going around coughing.
Guys, look, the film set was very socially distant. What are you talking about? The measures were there. Why did you get it?
disclaimer.
Yeah, we're gonna edit this part out, right?
Gary's being cut.
I think at
cut
some
me
point
down.
though, like when I spoke to all my friends, at some point I think all of us have felt
No,
like we've got to, oh my god, like coughed. Like it's not a normal.
It's too
like,
easy to slip up, you know. I mean, the whole thing makes no sense. Like, I'll go to Costa and they'll be, make you stand 2 meters, and everyone takes each other's Costa cards and hands it back to you. I'm like, well,
I tell you a little story when COVID kicked in the first time. You was about to go to South Africa, right?
Well, I did go. Yeah.
Yeah, you did go, but
'cause
we
I-
met up.
Yeah.
We met up.
'cause I was
so-
debating whether to go or not, but that's when it weren't really as prominent.
No,
it was like
no.
with this.
So basically, you brought it back, didn't you?
I didn't.
But the story is like we went out for a meal and then the drink after. So me and my friend who had the sniffles, so Billy, and we went to a bar. And like when I tell you that all of them were like cautious because we were sniffling and coughing,
I was cautious. You was.
I'm
yeah,
like
he
that
went
every
touch me.
day.
He touched me.
That day.
Yeah, but the bouncer just took my table that we were sitting in and he just moved it, and now we didn't have a table because he was like, "This guy's got corona."
Well, I wish
China,
they
right?
did that
China.
now.
I was like, "Philippines, mate."
Oh,
China. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was just
no.
like Philippines. Yeah, but you know, it
Well,
happens.
yeah. No, he had a serious cough though. I'm not gonna lie, because that's when the symptoms were first, like
Yeah.
just coughing, like serious
Yeah,
coughing,
yeah.
like. So.
I
It's
wish they did
paranoia,
that
isn't
now.
it?
It is,
Paranoia
it
is
is.
real, man.
Yeah.
Paranoia is real.
And everyone like runs
Oh,
away
yeah.
from you. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm that guy
I don't have it.
in Tesco's. I death stare people.
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
near me, you know?
yeah.
Do you think it's ever gonna end, this coronavirus, or?
Yeah, it will. Like, it has to. Like, you have to believe it's going to end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? It will
yeah.
end, or it
Well,
may
it's
like...
just gonna disappear. You think?
No, I think it's
We
going to be
said that a
something
few
we live
months
with.
ago, you know, when it was down to 500 cases.
But
now
like,
it's going up.
Do you know what I mean? No, but I think it will eventually. Like, we'll get vaccines.
I got to plug
think.
my tour in 2023. You know
There you go. I'm in there.
what I mean?
Keeps bumping it up.
That's what everyone's doing, though, isn't it?
Putting
Like,
it back.
Yeah.
Waiting it out. Waiting it out.
I'm gonna be a roadie in that tour, mate. I want to do it. Remember when we had Toby in as a guest, and he talks about live touring and the groupies. He told me about
your
the
friends
benefits.
sell out, man. Like, let me tell you, when I played Miss World for the first time, you know Miss World, right? It used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
I
do
watched it still.
Yeah, it's cool. I just wanted to do it because Donald Trump used to own it. So I was like, maybe I can meet the Donald.
Yeah.
I just wanted that was, exactly. I was like,
yeah.
if I do well with this one, maybe I'll go to the final and meet the Donald. I just want to see him.
Are you a fan or are you?
The D, I mean, no.
I want to meet the D. You know?
I want to see him.
Pause on that. Pause on that. But the thing is,
I
like,
just wanted to see if he had tiny hands in real life, you know? Tell me you don't want to see the Donald Trump in the flesh.
Donald could have given you a hat saying make Roe great again.
Exactly. That would have been legendary.
Yeah,
I think he's a
imagine.
total idiot.
Well,
Definitely
he
say
is.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
he is.
funny though, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's like a comedy. It's not. It doesn't seem real.
For a
Like,
president,
Yeah.
he's very smart, isn't he?
You know
To
when
be
he said
honest?
China?
Yeah.
I was like,
Was that?
to the press conference.
Do you not see
from China?
Yeah.
I was like, how can you be racist in front of everyone? Like,
But I like it, the
unreal.
brazenness. I like the
yeah,
sheer
of course.
brazenness.
I've never
like-
seen anyone get away with so much crap.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
That's true.
When it finishes, when his presidency finishes, I reckon there's going to be a
He's
lot
gonna
of things.
win next time.
Do you reckon?
Of course he is. Yeah, they
Yeah.
messed it up.
Well, no, do you know what? They've
I'm
got
voting for
Kamala.
Kanye.
They've got he pissed on his Grammy.
Yes.
How are you going to piss on your
I
Grammy?
know.
Some brave moves. There's some
But
brave
I
moves.
think he was doing that as because the way Kanye's head worked, he was trying to attack his labels, which was Sony and Universal, and he was trying to get out of his deals, his contracts. So he's pissing on his Grammy, saying this means shit if you don't get.
Well,
me
let
out
me
my
tell you
contract."
something else though, as well, right? Ironically, when someone like him goes and does that, he's got an album out at the same time. You know?
Well,
So you
obviously,
have to think
it's a
about that,
good
you know what I mean?
rollout.
Yeah.
It's a good rollout.
Has he got an
Funny
album?
how that works.
I don't know.
He
I
put
don't
some
know.
he's put some shoes out. Put some.
Yeah,
They, you know, all press is good press.
But he
right?
did say he's
them
not.
anyway.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard.
Not for everyone.
He did say he's not releasing any songs until the labels take him off of his contract. That's what he said. So
We'll see.
I'm waiting on the new
Yeah.
Do you
album.
guys think he's genius though? A lot of people saying he's
Yeah.
genius. I
Who
don't
knows?
think he is.
Mm.
I don't think nothing's topped his first album. If I'm really honest.
I'll agree with that.
What,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
graduation?
I'd agree with
Which
that.
was the
Yeah.
first album?
I think it was
Do you know
College
he put
Dropout.
out that he put out this completely ridiculous, terrible song?
Yeah.
And he ended up getting billions of streams.
Was that
on
where
it.
it's just like different sounds?
Yeah, it was just different
Was it
sounds.
with Kim on
Yeah.
the Kim on the with Kim
that
on
was
the
a-
motorbike?
It's just
Yeah.
different sounds.
But it
It's
could
a
be
very
genius
different-
because the guy went and got billions of streams, which paid loads of money because people
then-
were playing it saying, "This isn't real. This is ridiculous."
Yeah,
and then he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But at the same time, what is the definition of genius? Because surely that might be it.
"How would we know? You know,
Technically
no one
speaking,
knows
like-
what's." Yeah, that would be if
Yeah,
So
that's.
I'm
his
saying,
genius
like,
is probably
innovating
like
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone says the Kardashians are genius because and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
and I'd agree.
they're
Because
amazing,
I'd agree, yeah.
amazing business entrepreneurs, amazing. Like, and you can't fault that. Like,
Yeah.
you got credit where credit's due, innit? They've turned something.
I'm sensitive about though. Where's the but?
No. I'm sensitive. No, but. I was trying to say it. Don't say it. Say it.
However,
Is that what
Actually, use
entertainment? Is that what entertainment's become?
Let me look at
Yes.
that camera. Kim, if you're watching, I would love to have you in the sofa to be interviewed
Bet
by
you would.
just me, no Jermaine.
as a podcast,
No
or
cameras.
casting
Oh,
couch
podcast.
or-
No. Come on, man.
Can I come back for that one? Can
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
say-
Like, you can be over there.
Director,
no,
producer,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. But the thing is, like, you look at this creative. Like, I would say Kim is a creative. You look at the empire that she's built.
Yeah, 100%. All of them are the whole
Yeah,
family.
definitely. The whole family
I
out
mean,
from a
let's-
sex tape.
Yeah, I was gonna say how they
And
started.
that goes
From a
back to
sex
all
tape.
publicity is bad.
But
what was it?
all publicity is good
It's
publicity.
good
Do you remember
publicity,
who
that's
But
the
it's what
dad
you make
was?
it, innit? It's what you
Yeah.
make it. She
Yeah.
turned that into like Ray J.
I know.
Like, you went one wish and then gone.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
It started with the father, though. You remember him?
Yeah,
the guy that
yeah,
snuck out with
yeah.
the murder weapon.
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
He's
I
the
don't know.
lawyer
OJ.
in the OJ Simpson.
Yeah,
oh,
O.J. Simpson
Robert
case.
Kardashian.
Well,
Robert Kardashian.
what's his name now? He's turned into a woman, right?
Kris Jenner.
Olympic gold medalist Bruce
Yeah,
Jenner. I'm
Bruce
gonna guess.
Jenner.
Bruce Jenner.
Well,
sorry.
well,
It's
things like that,
Kylie.
can't
Now.
you?
No, Kylie. What's his name?
you know
Her
what?
name. I'm getting this all
Don't
wrong.
get
I'm gonna edit
cancelled.
this
Don't
out.
get cancelled. Don't get
Yeah, we'll
cancelled.
get in trouble.
Yeah, let's
good.
cancel that out. Yeah, transgender. We love you. So,
But moving on. So, however,
what, you don't like transgender?
I'm not saying that.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Words in my mouth. I
Don't do
never said
J.K.
that.
Rowling,
I
guys.
never said that.
I'm just gonna edit this video. No, I'm gonna edit the audio where you just say.
That's a trailer.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to throw you under the bus.
Jermaine's
He wants
been
top
removed.
billing.
Don't worry, I'll edit it last minute. Don't worry. It's all
He
right.
wants top billing.
Yeah,
innit?
Yeah, exactly. But how do you both feel about like people trying new things this day and age? Like, do you know, like I guess you could say like back in the day.
It's a very vague question.
Why just trying it? Going out for a day and like...
Let me land.
What kind of new things?
Back in the well, you said about the D earlier. Back in the day.
LD, man.
You actually did, bro.
I did. The number 1D, Donald.
There you go.
Okay. Recovery. Right. So back in the day, obviously the thing was like, oh, what do you want to be when you're older? You choose sort of one career path.
Back in the
Your
day.
parents push it quite a lot, depending on culture and background and stuff. But now, obviously, a lot.
Wait,
of
you
people,
look at me.
I'm just looking
This way, innit? You look the same, man.
Yeah. Am I ticking the box?
What's going on here?
Am I ticking the box? Yeah. Seems like I'm
Plug
ticking
in
the
there.
box.
No, but what I'm saying is, how do you feel
Don't worry,
about?
I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
How do you feel about people like trying different things this day and age? Like trying maybe if they've got an interest in, like you say, producing, directing, writing, or do you think they should just be like one single lane?
I've debated this in my own head. I'm like, oh, should I just go down one lane
Or you
and
just
own
sort of
it?
coasting, like,
and
yeah.
own it. But then nowadays, you have to do everything. You have to do a bit of
It's
everything.
not straightforward.
Like a jack of
You
all
gotta
trades.
edit your own stuff. You gotta like produce your own stuff. You gotta host your own stuff because you got to do a bit of everything, and that's how you can market yourself now because everyone is doing everything.
We're
So you
just
got
at a point with this being so many people in the world, so many people are trying everything.
Yeah.
Every path has got another million people.
you got to
trying
keep
to
up
do
with the
it.
competition.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
if
Well,
they're
you got to
doing that,
surpass them. You got to try and stand out. And
Yeah.
how can you do that? You learn new stuff. Like
Yeah.
Do you see everyone as competition?
No.
That's what I don't like about
I don't
social
see
media.
anyone as competition. What I mean is, it's a saturated market.
Yeah.
Like I don't see any. I think there's room for everyone. I genuinely
Yeah.
do. Like there's room for big personalities. There's room for small personalities. There's room for everything.
That's what I
do you
don't
know
like
what
about
mean?
what social media has done because it's made people think it's a competition.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
instead of like helping each other.
other,
Yeah,
yeah.
everyone looks and
Yeah.
goes, "How do I be better than that person?"
Yeah,
You're not
that's right.
competing for the same thing. You've got to compete against yourself
Yeah.
to level up.
I think how people are going to go big in this industry is collaboration.
Yeah,
like,
that's
look at what we're doing now.
100%.
We've got
Yeah.
four of us are
100%.
sitting in a room, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking into mics, and it's just collaboration. That's how we're gonna.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna support each other.
yeah.
And
I
then
can see the difference between people that like get an opportunity and pass it on to someone else, or say, "Hey, my friend would like to do this,"
Yeah,
or people
yeah.
that go, "Oh, I'm going to keep that for myself."
Yeah,
I
like a
know-
win-win rather than a
if you
win-lose
know people like
situation.
that, I know
Yeah.
the difference between everyone
would you
here.
do that, yeah? And keep it for yourselves.
No, we always try and create that. I think that,
Yeah.
like you say, it's the best way to be. Like in harmony, win-win. It creates good relationships
Yeah.
and all right.
And
So
then
I think-
Jermaine gets into limo and goes off to London.
The thing is, especially like what we've learned with like people that's followed us on our Instagram, and like they would sometimes talk to us and ask about, oh, who's that guest that you had, and we'd tell them who it is because we also believe in the guest that we've had to then push their stuff. Because I was like, that was such a great thing that this woman was doing that everyone needs to hear it, not just from us. Like they need to hear it from everyone that can hear it.
Yeah.
And like we said about like obviously what you ask them in terms of starting something new. When the podcast was created, it was before it was created, it was me with an idea of having a podcast, and then I spoke to 3 more friends, and then Jermaine was the only one that saw the vision, and then we created it together. Like the whole fruition of the podcast, obviously it was all like, yeah, the idea was there, but then let's sit down and talk about it. Like me and Jermaine then created Diaries For Discussion podcast, and at that time we did like hit so many walls. Like how do
No,
we
you do.
edit?
So everything's a
Yeah,
learning
yeah.
curve.
How do we edit? What equipment do we
Yeah.
need? Like that guy's using that equipment. Should we use it? And it was just a lot of like ifs, buts, what. But then it was like, let's just jump in it. Let's get our first 5 episode out, and then we'll sort it out from there.
Yeah. Again, sometimes you need to be thrown in the deep
Yeah,
end, don't
that's
you?
right. Yeah.
Well, like you learn on the job, right?
Yeah.
So everything you do, like even with the film, I was like literally directing for the first time, producing a film and you just learn on the job. I was like, oh, okay, release forms, this, that, that, and
Yeah.
you kind of like, and if you don't do it, and now for my second one, I know, okay, this
It's
is
a
how you
fine
do
line
it.
because when you're independent, you don't always have unlimited budget.
That's
So
right.
you can
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
easily make a mistake and
That's
mess
when you
the whole
rush the
thing up.
endings
Yeah.
as well. Like, yeah.
And it's just like that's the thing. It's all about learning, and it's just doing it. The fact that
Yeah.
you guys just got it out and just done it, and thing
Look
is,
what comes from that.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
it's the whole thing of being perfection, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you're not going to get that straight away.
That's
and
what we used to be like, though.
That's the worst.
That's
thing.
what
Yeah.
a
That's
lot of
the
people are
worst.
like.
That's
Yeah,
what
they
you-
want
that's what
all
plays
the
with
lights to
your
be
mind.
green before they go, like sort of thing. Everything's
Oh, I
got to
like
be
that.
perfect. Like, yeah.
I
You
like
just
that
have to
too.
let go. You have to learn to let go. or else it's-
Let it be
I
amber,
heard
man.
that. Do you know, I heard that in church. I don't go to church often, but I heard that in church. Some pastor was talking about when you're waiting for all the lights in your journey to be green, and you're not expecting to encounter any speed bumps, any like crossroads or anything like that. And that's what I was facing at one point. You want everything to be pristine.
When was the last time we went to church?
A while ago.
Can you go to church? Is church?
He's like, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. When was the last time?
When did you go to church?
Yeah.
Listen, it's been COVID. We've been in lockdown, man. Give the
Do
guy
you know what I mean?
credit.
Come on, pray.
You haven't got to go to church to pray either, by the way.
I know.
Do you both pray, or do you meditate or anything?
Well, first ask him what his religion is. We know that, obviously.
Other.
There you go.
Jedi.
Yeah, it's a Jedi.
A lot of people are.
Yeah.
No, I did a philosophy degree.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, not that anyone would know that. So I'm probably not going to talk about my ideas, but I believe in something. That's for sure. Probably not an old white man with a beard.
Standing on top of a mountain.
Controversial it is to say that.
Yeah, with a goat.
Sprinkling COVID.
Yeah, there's something going on. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think in terms of like you guys, I love the creative, like in the sense of obviously the filmmaking and obviously you're presenting new music. Let's talk more about your music. So I know that obviously you're going to release a lot of music coming out soon, right?
Yeah. Well, I've got one song coming out October 23rd.
Yeah.
That's with a guy in Canada, an amazing singer. But I'm mostly focusing on my album.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I'm trying to do it differently. You know, a lot of people, like I said, there's this path that you think you should do as a musician, which after years of trying that, I don't agree with it. And it's risky what I'm doing. Like, for example, I'm planning to only release my album on Spotify.
I was going to say, there's so many DSPs out there.
I don't see the point of being, saying I'm on 5,000 different sites where, you're scattering your audience all around those. I think you should be pushing them to one. I've learned by doing so many things wrong over time. So it's risky.
So why is that though? Because I'd ask the question, like you're saying, why scatter your audience to all different platforms?
I understand it though.
No, I understand it, but at the same time, I wouldn't have thought that you're scattering your own audience. If they're already your audience, they've already got their preferred platforms.
Well, then if they're your own audience and they care about your stuff, they're going to follow you no matter where it is.
Exactly. So then, therefore, if
is
you're
it
on
because of numbers? Is it because of numbers? You want the
Well,
if they're
I
all
don't
on one
think
platform, he gets the numbers, right?
on the one
yeah,
platform.
yeah.
Spotify
That
don't
would
give you
make
all the
sense.
numbers though. Statistically, you don't get.
But like, so say
but
that
I don't
all the
know how it is
SoundCloud people were listening to his album on Spotify.
It just looks
That
better
like
for
say
one.
that 1,000, or let's say 1 million.
Well, I
Because I
mean,
want
you
this guy to
can't-
get promoted. You know,
I don't know. I've tried all different things. I've seen other people try different things. You can't promote across the board.
I'm curious for ourselves. Like we spoke about that before as well, and it's like
It's
you know
tough.
you're saying about moving your own audience, but for example, let's say you're on different platforms, therefore
That's
you've got
the
more
different
reach for
argument.
different
That's the
audience.
different
This was our argument because I wanted to be solely in one DSP at the time,
And it's not like they're sponsoring us.
Yeah, I know.
what's
That's the thing.
DSP?
So it's distribution selling point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Is it USP, unique selling point, or is
that's
that a
also
different
it's
thing?
kind of the same thing. In America they call it loads different.
Yeah.
SP, blah 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 blah.
Just jargon.
Yeah, it's jargon. But with the DSP, like with Spotify, like I thought as well, you'd want to get paid to be exclusive.
Well,
with
I'll tell you.
Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you my whole idea. You got to create longevity as an artist.
That's right.
So if you're going on one platform where you can see all the analytics, at the end of the day, you're trying to drive people to become real fans.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to use those real fans to buy merchandise, to go to shows.
Yeah.
Now with Spotify, you can see an incredible amount of analytics. I can see where people are from, the age they're at, what time they listen. And artists then go and plan their shows around that.
Yeah.
You say I have a bigger following in this place here, so I'm going to go and book my shows there. And
Yeah, we'd say that. We'd say the same.
For marketing and ads, I know people between 18 and 24 are the majority of listeners, And when you don't have an unlimited budget, you got to think, what can I get out of this? And I think analytics is a big one when you're learning about these things.
Definitely.
That makes more sense.
Instead of having 10 followers or 10 fans on 50 different things.
Yeah.
You're looking for real fans, not numbers are irrelevant. If you get people getting 1 million streams of robots don't buy tickets to shows, robots don't buy merchandise.
Do you prefer that, like live shows, as opposed to like?
I used to be really scared of it. I still get nervous. Even yesterday on the radio, my phone stopped working 5 minutes before.
Yeah, is it the
And I was
presenter?
like,
The presenter's making you nervous.
I switched in.
Sending him abuse over WhatsApp.
There's a million things that can go wrong, and you're judged for it. So I
See, a lot of people like that live interaction though. It's a bit like theatre and acting. The difference between TV and film and in theatre is you're getting the live reaction. You know if you're doing a good job, and also it's not permanent. Every night's going to be different in theatre.
It's tough, but when you connect in that moment, and I just remember I can remember the face of one guy jumping up and down, going mad, and I'm like, it was worth it just for that. Just for that one.
And the rest were all miserable.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah,
The one he paid was like jumping up and down.
Get him £20.
But guys, Spotify, if you're listening, you are our favourite digital service provider. Please sponsor us, or
But
get us in a
Apple, if
deal.
you also like us,
Yeah,
right
I
now,
mean, iHeartRadio, we're on you
I
as
love
well.
this, man.
Yeah,
In-house plugs, isn't it?
Please, we love everyone. Just give us a deal.
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'm going to ask you with the new song that you have, like the creative process of this, how did it work for you? Because I know it must have been through the lockdown, right?
Yeah, 100%. I literally have hundreds of beats just sitting around, to be honest. And this guy sent me the vocals, and I put it to like 10 different things.
Yeah,
you know, that's the reality of it. You know, when you're listening to big artists, and you think, I think the difference between like smaller artists or people I've seen that they'll make something and spend so long doing it, and then they'll want to push that and be like, I worked so hard, it's great.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I'm just trying to make stuff good.
Yeah.
I want someone to tell me if it's not good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing it for my ego. I'm trying to make great stuff.
Yeah.
So through lockdown, it's been hard, but I've only been able to work with people that can record from home.
Yeah.
So that really creates a disadvantage for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah. One thing I would say as well, like, guys, Rowan or Ro has 100 beats. So reach out to him if you want to buy a beat, sample. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. You know,
definitely.
I was starting to do a lot of rap stuff, but you know, a lot of things were cancelled. So
definitely.
I'm not going anywhere. I hope.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things though. Like, I have a lot of friends that's in the industry, and I'm not in the industry at all. And like seeing like
you are now, man.
Well, I am now.
I thought you were gonna do a rap song for me, no?
Mate, I will, bro.
And you're gonna dance on one of my music videos.
I'll dance while I'm rapping. I can do a lot. I can head spin while I'm rapping. Like, whatever.
He speaks this big talk, but we're holding
You can head
trust
spin.
me, I can head spin. Like,
Can you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but I won't show you. It's on my OnlyFans. But
I asked you for the link though.
Told
me I had to buy it.
You have to buy it, bro. Come on, support.
All right, cool.
creative.
You gotta buy my album.
Support the creative. I'll buy it. I'll buy
Creative.
my OnlyFans.
Please.
So how do you feel about like acting abroad? Are you pursuing like to move abroad with that, or
What, like to
Hollywood,
to go? I don't know,
or
man.
just take your creatives like outside the UK?
I'll be open to it. I'll be 100% open to like collaborating and everything like that. At the moment, it's just like the UK is hard enough to conquer, right?
Yeah.
So it's
I don't
just
think
like,
we could go anywhere.
like, and you can't really go. But 100%, man. There's I want to get different perspectives, and you can get that when you collaborate with people abroad. I was thinking about India because I know some of my family in India. Tapping up into something because it's such a big.
That's big as well, like, isn't it?
It's
like,
a big community. Like, so just seeing what is out there, and I think. I'm not going to say no to any opportunity. I'm not established enough to go,
I don't need that right now.
nah. But like at the moment, it's just like doing what you can within your means, and then kind of if something comes, 100% like tap up people abroad and seeing what comes of it.
That's the one thing I like about social media. I will give it some credit for that. You can connect with people from anywhere. It's like I met a producer in India, and I couldn't believe how good his stuff was. And I've done a few things with him. Hopefully he'll be on my album. He has nothing. I ended up buying him some headphones. I sent him the money. And then he was so grateful. Like, he'd send me photos, and he's better than me on those little headphones on some.
There's
laptop.
apps out there now to connect with people in a sort of like
Yeah.
different sort
Well,
of
I mean,
countries, like 5 hours, like.
Oh yeah, but it's worth it for things like that.
Do you guys see LA as like the pinnacle?
I wouldn't say.
I don't see like
I
America
wouldn't say it's the
or LA.
pinnacle. I understand people. It is kind of the hub of entertainment, though. Do you not agree?
Yeah,
like,
but it's crazy.
Is it? Is it? Like, are people? The thing is, right? If you actually has anyone actually been? I've been to LA, and I just didn't. I didn't like the vibe.
I work
there,
with
and
a lot of people from there even now, just on the internet, and they are crazy.
the vibe in terms of the entertainment, or the vibe in
it's just
general.
like it's just the vibe. Like generally, like I go off vibes, man. Like if I don't feel a vibe, I won't do something.
See, I liked LA.
Did you?
I
because
liked
you're
LA.
one of those
I didn't-
people, man.
No, so I didn't like New York because you've been New York.
I see. I love New York.
No,
I love
New
New
York's
York.
like London, but just fast paced. I just didn't like it. But
This is why you're on that side,
Yeah,
man. We're
yeah,
on this
yeah,
side.
yeah,
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 this
yeah.
side, yeah.
If you,
but LA, I quite liked.
I've got a really horrible, controversial view about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I just
go
think
on.
if you take a bunch of people from different areas that are, I don't know, can I say this? Quite egotistical and really looking to push themselves, and I want to be on the camera, and I want to go there.
Everyone's looking at Jermaine.
Now let's, I
you're
don't know
right.
if this is going to get cut at all.
No, that's fine.
Let's say,
Yeah, no, you're
1
right.
in 5, 1 in 10 people is a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
How many of those people want to pursue acting or want to pursue those things? And how many of those people go to LA? So if 1 in 10 people is a narcissist, how many people in LA are a narcissist?
If you say, because we say, if some people do view LA as to be the hub of that, because I know loads of YouTubers that just gone to LA and it's like, boom, I'm booming. But
I know
think
some brutal things.
Yeah,
some stories
yeah,
from
like,
there.
definitely.
Really horrible.
crazy in LA.
But going to the comment you made though, do you think like actors in general are narcissists?
No,
What you're saying?
but
Okay.
I like.
I just want to be clear.
He's looking aggressive. He's looking aggressive right now. What's gonna...
I know. Well, I'm technically an actor now, so no. I liked what you were saying in the beginning about getting. I want to get into roles where you're pushed.
Yeah.
Like I do know a lot of people that want to go into acting. They want to look great all the time.
Yeah.
They want to
Yeah.
be like James Bond.
Yeah.
It's also smoke and
Anything in
mirrors.
front
And
of the camera, some people are like can be like that.
Well,
Like,
I just think it's media perception, man. Media
Yeah.
perception has made LA seem like the hub of
Yeah.
entertainment,
Yeah.
right? And that's where a lot of successful people are. But there's successful people
Everywhere.
everywhere,
100%,
and it's just like
100%.
it's all that kind of media stuff. If you've been told LA, but when you actually go there, I'm just like,
But
no
it's
one's
like-
got banter or
No,
energy
it's-
or
it's
like.
grim,
okay, if
man.
we're talking about banter, then
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
so.
Plus, back in the
It's
day,
very cutthroat there. It's very cutthroat.
I don't know when LA became the hub though, because when you look up back in the day, everyone
Hollywood,
was saying
America.
New York. Everyone's
Well,
like
it's just the
New
film
York.
hub of what? The film industry, the Western film
Yeah.
industry.
No, just media in general,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't see how it is. It's also spread out,
Yeah.
and I just don't think. And I think London could easily be like, what is the media hub of England? There's Birmingham now.
Yeah,
There's
Birmingham,
they're
yeah.
doing some stuff up in Leeds
Depends
because they
on
have
what
to.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
dance music. Amsterdam is the capital.
Yeah,
by
yeah.
far. Even
Dance music,
Sweden.
is it really?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, psychedelics, drugs, sex,
Oh, maybe
what,
we
like,
can
No, spinning
put the
there's
together.
huge record labels in
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
yeah.
I thought Ibiza was.
That's where they go and play. I mean, all the labels are based in it. You wouldn't believe how many labels are in Amsterdam.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Ibiza's the definitely the club capital.
Yeah,
I mean, there's many of those places. I mean, there's many club capitals.
Yeah.
Vegas.
So you don't
You
really
know.
tour Amsterdam? Are we coming? Yeah.
I'm not going without you guys.
yeah, come on, man. When are you taking us with you?
Actually, I went to go to Amsterdam recently as well. But...
Just wait until 2023.
Yeah, my
Everyone
God,
wants
yeah.
to
No, I'm planning to go to Valencia. That's
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
planning to buy a house there this summer,
Yeah.
and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go next summer. So you guys
That'd
have
be
to do the podcast.
Transatlantic guy, innit? Transatlantic, Philippines.
I don't like the cold.
Canada.
I don't like the cold.
Valencia.
You know what I
Yeah.
was gonna say? Because we already had this thought when we was building the podcast. Like one day we would tour the
Yeah.
podcast and have like
Like,
different artists come on.
I thought
and-
about doing it on a boat. I thought that would be cool. Like
That would
doing
be sick.
I want
Yeah,
to start
we
doing
spoke about
DJ
that, right?
sets,
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Just
yeah.
gotta swim over to the boat.
Yeah.
Got to work
Yeah.
for it.
Oh well, I'll put this idea out for you guys now.
Hmm.
I'll buy an island and we'll just get all of the creatives in it. And
What
we'll
type
just
of-
like
the
a
Philippines
creative
or,
island.
you know?
No, I'll buy in the Philippines would be cheaper for me, so we'll do that. We'll go buy an island in
Yeah.
the Philippines.
As long as there's none of
Right.
those eggs you're talking about.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
There's a few pirates
Yeah.
out there, you know.
Yeah. I've got a house there, so we can just go there, be creative. Like
Yeah,
if
pretty
if this
far
if
away.
this happens, that we can go. But yeah,
4 years.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll build our own network over there.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I did always think about doing a radio station or something.
Yeah. Build our own network.
Then you go down the umbrella thing. Next thing you know, I'm on the roof with like a pole.
yeah.
Get
Guys, I'm gonna let
reception.
you guys go over there first, and then you let me know how it works
yeah,
out,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
and then I'll
yeah,
and then I'll
yeah,
jump on a
yeah.
plane.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds like I'll join that as well. Yeah.
I'm definitely never going to get any work in LA after.
Yeah.
Juggy, how's it like working for BBC like radio? I don't know how much you're allowed to say, but what's it been like?
Do you know what? It's been interesting, man. It's like once again, it's a learning curve. Like you do think once you get somewhere, and it's like, oh, it's the BBC, like one of the biggest corporations in the world, and
Yeah.
it's like amazing, and it's like a good name to have on your CV. But it's still constant battle. You're battling at the moment, battling for airtime.
Oh,
You know,
really? I
the
didn't realise
pandemic,
that.
like you have to. So I've been like during the pandemic, I had a show. And then I had a show for two hours every Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
During the during pandemic, I had to do it from home.
Yeah.
So I was co-presenting.
Yeah.
So then that's less airtime. And then now I'm back, and it's only for an hour. And then you got to take a cover shift, and it's just like it's constant. It's not like, oh, okay, you get there, and then it's still ongoing. You still have to keep going. And BBC is really good. They give you opportunity, but you gotta just fight for everything.
Yeah.
You gotta like really pitch it through and show what you're gonna do, and you gotta do stuff outside of like what you've
Definitely.
got contracted. So it's still just an ongoing journey. Do you know what I mean? It's not like the be all, and you have to be very careful of your views.
That's
Like,
right.
Do you know
you've
what
got
I
to be
mean?
neutral the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah, especially when you're on air and stuff like that. And that's the hardest thing, because I had
Yeah.
some vegans on, and we were talking about veganary, and they were just like, I was like, oh, it's all about live and let live. And then she was like, no, I will not eat with anyone that eats meat, blah, blah,
that's
blah.
crazy.
And I'm like,
It's when they push it too much. Like when everyone's got their opinion, that they try and
It's like
push on other
everything.
people.
Yeah,
like
preaching.
anything. Yeah.
Guys, again, for our listeners in America,
Sorry.
BBC is not a porn category. It is a network. Just to let you guys know. yeah, just to.
That's brilliant.
It's all correlating.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Now, when it comes to like battling for airtime though, like is that something outside of your contract then, or once you got your contract, that's sort of fixed?
So yeah, it's once you get your contract, you're kind of contracted as a presenter, producer, and then it's kind of like they can put you where
they seem fit.
Yeah, like because sometimes you're not going to get
Juggy presenting Dancing on Ice.
Yeah.
That would be great. There you go.
Channel, man.
BBC, right? Let's push it in. So like, yeah, come on, hi Juggy, please.
All right, next David Attenborough.
Yeah, there you go.
He's genius, isn't he?
Yeah, I
he's
love
joined
David
Instagram,
Attenborough.
man. He's
Yeah.
joined Instagram.
David Attenborough.
Yeah,
No
it's
way.
literally everyone's stories is like, I was like, this David Attenborough. And
Yeah.
he's like, he's joined Instagram to kind of, climate change.
Yeah,
and kind
yeah,
of
of course.
because he goes, he had to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
So this guy's next, man. If David
Come on,
Attenborough's done it,
I'm going there. I will show you all of the nasty stuff that you can eat because I'll eat anything. Just travel around the world. Just like, oh, someone does that already, right?
I think a lot of people do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did that in the Philippines, and I got sick.
There you go. There you go. I'm not going to do that, guys. I'm just going to go into this and go crazy. That's what I'm thinking. Just go crazy with what we're doing. And push more stuff. But
Have you both like traveled much then, like at all? Or?
I've travelled an absolute ton, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got this tattoo here. I haven't put the dots on, but I want to put. I've been to
Finishing touches, the
dots.
dots.
Yeah, I've been to every continent other than Antarctica. So
Can I do the
Okay.
dots?
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
cool.
It's really
I'll do the
easy.
whole-
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
I want to. Can we do that live? Instagram live.
I
That.
just do it at the same time when Kim Kardashian comes over. Yeah, just do it all at once.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'll do
really
it all at
famous.
once.
No, we're taking Kardashian to a bar. Just warm her up while you
Oh,
guys do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be funnier to do someone with no tattoos. I'm not really phased anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
After like 30 hours of tattoos, I'm not really-
Yeah.
I'm
Where have you
not
got? Just your
really-
arms, or
I've got all the way here and then leg. And
Oh wow.
what was the most
there.
painful part?
The shin, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
You
Or
got-
this.
I know you got
like
tats. You got
have you
tats.
got one here?
My parents would kill me, man.
My parents thought I came out of prison. Like, it's like,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
I get.
You know how they are. It's like if you have tattoo, you're either a thug or you live in prison.
I know. I've got to get them like every time I travel for my stories. But grandma's across the street now when I walk past town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you start getting the neck tattoos and the
Talk
on the head
about
and the
ticking
face.
that box, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Criminal.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to traveling, I think traveling has changed my perspective on a lot of things.
100%,
Out of
yeah.
all the things. Obviously,
Where's the best place you've been?
when you say best, what do you mean?
Yeah,
Okay, so where's the most place you learnt the most from, or
South Africa, I think.
yeah?
Yeah, because I've been a few places, but I think South Africa, because poverty is so in your face, and also it's history, it's like racial history. Seeing what little people have,
What do you mean by little people?
not little people, not
I
like
was
short
like,
people.
are you talking to me?
Seeing how little, seeing how
You guys
little
are on each other
people
today.
have. No, seeing how like people live their everyday life, and the contrast between rich and poor. There's not really an in between. It's either you've got a lot or you've not got nothing.
Well, it's the
And-
Philippines, same, right? It's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
inside and outside
Yeah.
of the gate.
Because I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the slums, so I saw how
In Cebu?
everything. No, in Manila, which was the hub,
Yeah.
or obviously the capital city. And when I was growing up, I was like, why don't I have what they have? And then obviously my mom progresses with her work, and we started to get more stuff. And then how it was is like, wow, it is a mind opener. Because every time we
Yeah.
go back there, we always do charity work.
Well, I
We
really
always-
struggled when I was doing the TV show because you get there and you're literally like, I had a driver. I was picked up from the airport. I was just hanging out at, like shopping centers where you go in with armed guards on the outside, and you can look outside and there's people on the street and poverty, and it's just
That's what I'm
so
saying with South
different.
Africa as well.
yeah.
The contrast, which I've learned to appreciate, the contrast. Like you take things for little things for
100%.
granted. Just walking down the street to the shop, I
I
wouldn't
really
do that when I was
struggled
down in
with
South
it.
Africa.
I
It's
Was
really
it really
struggled.
eye opening for you?
really eye opening. Yeah. It makes you appreciate the things you have got and the things you haven't got.
You spoke about like obviously when you was there, and you see the poverty, right?
Yeah,
you see
it's
the children
really in your face.
You see the children begging for food and stuff
Yeah.
like that. One thing that I would advise everyone that travels and sees this: don't
Don't
give
give
them
them
money.
money, yeah.
Give them food.
Or there'd be gangs,
Yeah.
the drug
Syndicates.
gangs would have all the
Yeah,
kids
yeah,
go around
yeah.
and take money.
Yeah, it's all
I used to
syndicates.
give it to everyone
Yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah, by the
You
third
know,
day though, when you've been getting it all day every day, it gets a bit much.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know who's legit.
when we go back, what we do is we grab. It sounds so weird. We grab a group of kids like that are begging, and then we'll take them to like McDonald's or Jollibee or wherever. it was.
Jollibee, I remember
love
that,
it.
yeah.
And then you just give them food, and then you see the parents or their acting parent outside. And it's like, where's their money?
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
no, we're
It-
buying them
Well,
food.
this is the culture. The culture of begging is really bad because it's
Yeah.
almost like
It's
it's
a
almost
job.
like it's almost like they're being groomed to do
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
And then people give money. And I remember once being on a taxi, and then one of them open taxis in India,
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
mum's bag was hanging down,
Yeah.
and obviously in there you have cash, everything,
Yeah.
and these kids were running off it, and,
Swarmed,
and then I looked back, and their mum was telling them to go grab my mum's bag, and I was like, Mum, Mum, give it back.
Yeah.
I was like, but then I think when people like us go to countries like that.
Yeah.
they think you're kind of like
Rich.
the
Rich.
epitome of wealth.
Well,
and
especially
you're
me.
doing really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just like, and you're like, how do you kind of tell them that that's not actually the reality? Because they always think this is the thing I try and say to my cousin in India. They're like, oh, can you try and help us come here, get a visa to come to England? And I'm like, you're still gonna have to work just as hard, probably harder. Like, why don't you use, like, people need to use, India can be a great kind of hub of, you know, media or tech or, you know, everyone, all these kind of clothing factories, they're all made in India or like
Whereabouts
Asia.
in India did you go?
So I'm from North India, Punjab. So I haven't been in like 12 years, I'm not gonna lie, but like every time I go back, it's just like you said, like South Africa, you see it, and you're like, but then you're just like, and they've just got no hope, and they're kind of turning to like, you know, different ways now to like kind of cope with that, and it's just
awful
like,
though. I mean, everything I've seen just makes me realise how lucky you are.
Yeah,
Like,
That's what I'm
it's a
saying. Like when I'm in
huge
South
gap.
Africa, even just getting like, for example, like I say, I wouldn't just walk the street. I'd always get an Uber. Obviously, things are a lot cheaper out there than it is here when you convert pounds to South African rands. But I get an Uber. But even the Ubers out there, for example, there's this thing like, it was just taxis before, taxi drivers, and you didn't have to have a license. You could just have a criminal record or whatever. It could be anyone driving you. The taxis were in really bad condition as well. Yeah, but then obviously the Uber come on the scene, and you've got to be qualified, so the drivers are more safe. But then to combat that, the taxi drivers that are now out of work would literally kill the Uber drivers. There was stories when I was out there of Uber drivers getting shot up. The guy was put in the back of his trunk and like set on fire. Like when I'm outside the mall waiting for the Uber to come, there's always security guards with pump action shotguns. They can't stop in certain places because people will literally rock them.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can't walk down the street there. You can't stop at traffic lights. It's another thing.
Yeah, no, you don't do stuff like that. If there's no one around, you just go. Like,
I think though, like that is in any country. Like in terms of like, because I say street smart. Because when I was living in the Philippines when I was young, I know all the gangsters. Like they have the guns. Like yeah, seriously.
Like, you're friends with them?
I made friends with them, so
I
I was safe.
think that's so cool.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Really?
the first time I was shocked, but now I'm like, yeah,
I'm not joking. Literally, like, because my path to school should
Did
be
you get
5
recruited?
minutes. Yeah, but I didn't go.
Did ya?
Yeah, they do this thing where they burn you with a cigarette or like a coin, and then you're part of the gang. And
you
they
got
give you
the
a handshake. Yeah. But my cousin was part of the gang, and he was just like, you don't need to do this.
And did you feel safer being a part of the gang? Or
Did
like,
you kill someone?
Well, I wasn't part of the gang, but my cousin was. But I made friends with them that made me feel safe. Because normally the route to school is a 5-minute walk, but if you don't know any of these people, you'll have to go the 30-minute round because you don't want to go through that way. Because obviously it's not safe. You see everyone with like the addicts and stuff with knives and guns, and they pre-made weapons.
The guns there is crazy.
Yeah, mate. They have a
Loads
tube.
of people
They have a
guns.
tube, and they have a condom, and they put it in the bottom of the tube, and they'll put a dart, and literally could kill you with that. Yeah. So
what's this? Some infected dart or what?
no, it's anything. It could be something that they use. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Welcome to the AIDS world. Like you don't know. But yeah, no. You look at like you look at those different countries and like
Talk about
I'm
protection.
thinking about someone's cooking.
with a dart, you know.
Sorry,
But yeah,
man, carry
no,
on.
no, it's all good. But I think like with all these countries, there is something that needs to be done in terms of the poverty. Like we look at it every year. We send so much money into charities, and it seems like it's not doing anything.
Well, because it doesn't get where it's supposed to.
Corruption.
You know? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
See, I can't speak on stats because I'll be paraphrasing, but I've seen a few stats and they were saying like how the coronavirus has gone worldwide instantly and everyone's had to get together to combat it, and so much X amount of money has been invested in it to keep the numbers down, and it's saying like
It's just expanded.
but then this is how much money it would take to cure like homelessness in this country and like we've exceeded like that.
Do you remember when the church in France burned down last year or something, and it was like Dior or one of these companies gave like 300 million to fix the church, but you know you could cure world poverty. It just shows you how it's sad.
It goes back to the distribution of wealth again, doesn't it? Like, how is that needs to be changed
It's just got
to
out of
address
control
everything?
now.
And it's just like, okay, why do people need like some people need to get paid £1 million for doing like days work when that could be, you know, a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, and that could change people's like a whole family's life. Like, do you know what I mean?
100% generations, more than a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like it just goes back to that. But then until that's changed, nothing's gonna, you know, like the whole. You know, when they do these charitable things, you give £10 and stuff, but what? Do you know what I mean? You don't really know where it's going to go. I'd rather
like
go
some
there.
of these charities, you know, you can look up where the director of the charity is getting 120,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, and why? It's a charity. Where's that money coming from?
I know you're saying that you'd rather go there and see it yourself.
Well,
or
my
give them,
dad, he goes to India every year, and he goes, look, I'm not going to do any of this charity stuff. I'm not going to do like, you know, I don't like it when people do, you know, I'm going to do a sky jump and I want you to, I'm like, just sponsor yourself. You'll do the sky jump. If you're doing something actually like, do you know what I mean? I just don't believe in that stuff.
I tried that. I really wanted to help. I've been to Kenya a bunch of times. I got lots of friends there, and I did some stuff with the United Nations.
Okay.
Another story.
No, we'll discuss that because I was looking that up recently.
Yeah, well, me doing it or
no, just in
general,
general.
yeah.
But, you need to go back. You need to go back to Kenya.
You know, I was younger then. I was like 20, and I thought, okay, what can you do? Let's buy a truck full of water. You know, and my friend's mum was the deputy director of the United Nations, and I found it was incredibly different to what you'd expect. You think, send them food, send them this and that, and the reality of what would happen was that these trucks, you know, foreign people would come with all this rice and all this water and all these cameras, and they give it to them, and then they'd be back in the same position a few months later. So they found that none of that stuff was working because, and the people ended up shunning these charities and hating them. You know, you're from a tiny little village and you see the UN trucks roll in, or you see the charity trucks come in with all their cameras and these rich looking foreign people. They take all the supplies for them and then leave them. So they found that none of that stuff actually worked. And what then they tried to do was focus on educating the people to help themselves.
Well, that's like that saying, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime.
Yeah. It's true, because then they ended up hating the charities and not wanting to work with them, because they said, you don't care about us. Yeah. You just want to take the photos and make it look like you're doing something.
By the way, I'm loving these sayings. Like, I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, he sometimes he gets it wrong though. Just check him.
I get it wrong.
Yeah.
That's good one. You like that one.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, we speak about, like, obviously Juggy spoke about, like, being in that same country and building yourself in there. I hope this rubs into other people as well. Helping is great. Like, I think it gives you that sense of, like, usefulness as well. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I love being able to help.
Much other purpose, you know? Like,
yeah, of course.
But you can help in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be money. That's the biggest thing. Right? Like, even going there and, like, say you went there for 2 weeks and gave people a bit of direction, like, do this, do that. Like, because at the end of the day, we're all like, I'm not gonna lie, I can't afford, like, to go, you know, you got to sort yourself out first, and your own, like, thing, and then charity starts at home, and then once you kind of build, like, bigger, you got plans of, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that for these people. But you can help in so many other days. Just
be nice. You never know what someone's going through. You know, that's the biggest one for me. Say, have a nice day. You have no idea what people are going through.
And like you say, give advice. I think it's good when you can share your life experiences with people, but at the same time, you got to sort of, what's that thing you say? Read the room. Not everyone can accept advice.
No. That's why you just got to go off vibes, right? So if you see like people, I'd love to go there and go, like, you know, people that want to get into media, go, well, okay, utilize this platform and go like this and this and this. Just give people a bit of direction and a bit of, like, clarity that can be done. Do you know what I mean? It can be done. You just got to use the right sources and tap into the right people.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that's stuff that we've learned as we've kind of grown up. Wouldn't it be easier if just we sat down and someone just told us?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's like what I was saying with, obviously, like the presenting and stuff like that. When you don't know people, like with me and acting, I didn't know anyone in my close circle that's done acting before. So you've got to find resources online and then just go out your way and just learn as you go along, like reaching out to people that you're not familiar with and put yourself in those uncomfortable positions.
It's the same as music, because in the exact same way, it's really hard to, like, people don't answer the phones, you know what I mean? Until you have credibility. People don't want to work with you until you have credibility. So you have to force that through yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've been lucky with all our guests. No one has said no yet, which is great. Like, I don't want to jinx it, actually. Let's cut that out. But I think in terms of, like, creativeness and how things are now in the industry, you kind of, like you said, like you guys said, is really push yourself into it. Like, don't be afraid of rejection. Like, we've heard about Juggy's obviously journey into now becoming, like, the presenter of BBC from what he was from, and you think about, like, Shia LaBeouf as well, one of the guys that thought about those things where fake it till you make it until you get there, or not even that, just push yourself and like talk to anyone and not the feeling of rejection, like, push you.
What helps the most is, like, hearing people be honest about their experiences.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? Do you know what? My humour is quite self-deprecating. So that's my humour. Like, I like to take the piss out of myself. So I remember like I put on I done a post about ticking that box on Instagram and the film, and I was like, oh, you know, when you try and direct people, no one really listens. It was a bit funnier than that, but and someone's going, why are you doing that? You got to own it. And even like that belief that you have built up in yourself, that confidence to own it, that is hard to actually sit there for you going, I'm an actor, to you go, I'm a podcaster. That is actually hard. Like initially, like it takes a lot even to me, say presenter, I'm still like, part of me is going, I'm only local radio, like not national. Do you know what I mean? So it's like to build that and actually say it. And you do have to like do it, and it is that whole fake it until you make it. But it's not faking it because you are doing it. You're just not at the level where you want it to be.
I think that's. Oh, sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, and then once you get to that level, it's like, why do you want to get to that level straight away? Do you know what I mean? Like, then what have you got to fight for?
Well, it's not just that. I think it's the longevity as well. If you're giving. One of my favourite musicians is a guy called Rust, and if you know Rust.
Yeah, but he's really inspiring.
Is it not Rowan Bradley?
No. I wish, man. But
it's my favourite musicians. It is Rust, but mine is Rowan.
Russ is like people in the industry trying to get in know this guy. This guy shares his royalty statements. Russ showed everyone how much money he was making for like 2 years. He was like $600, then up to like hundreds of thousands a month.
But he's got his head screwed on, and like one of the things he says a lot of this day and age, a lot of artists want overnight success because that's what it appears like on the surface on social media. Everyone makes it overnight
that's
sort
the
of thing.
point of like, be honest. How can you help people? Like I remember if I'm ever talk to someone inspirational and he gives me some advice, I remember that. That's what sticks with me. You know what I mean? If you talk to anyone on the radio and they've said do something like this, that sticks with you.
Yeah, but what you were saying was like it's better to have it and basically work over it long term and get it later because then it's the longevity is going to last sort of thing as opposed to being an overnight success and it's just like a one-hit wonder.
Well, look at this Love Island. Look at these Love obviously. But look at these Love Island people. Like they get overnight success. Literally, they go on Love Island. They get 1 million followers. They come out and then they don't like once it goes and the next series starts. Have you seen that BBC Free show Make Me Famous? It's eye-opening if you haven't seen it. It's literally like, so it's like he's on a fake reality show, he's on and then the next season starts and he doesn't know what to do with his life because it's overnight success. So it goes and you enjoy it and then the come down's even harder.
It's hard because once you've got a taste, like once you sip from that fountain of gold and then you've got to go back to your normal reality, it's hard to adjust to that.
I mean, it's the same as the some of the X Factor singers. Who do we know now? Apart from, I know Leona Lewis in One Direction. I
personally know loads of them, like working with them, and it's quite a small network.
Come on, mention, drop names. Drop names.
Well, no, I know ones that haven't won, you know what I mean? But it's really tough, because, like, you'll go into that, and I know, you know, from some of the things they've told me, like, you're created by that show. Like, the Love Island overnight success, it's very easy for them to think, I'm doing really well, but the money and the system in place in those shows is massive. That creates these people, that gives them an audience, you know. And then you come out of it and you
don't have it.
You don't have it. You're going back to doing karaoke songs at Butlins, and I'm not joking. People do that,
and that's when you see them take gigs that don't really match their character.
Well, you'll see that their original music won't go very far.
But then there's nothing.
It's a glorified
that
karaoke
shouldn't be
show.
Though that shouldn't be shame. Like, you know, the actors that kind of go. There's an EastEnders actress that went to work in B&M after her stint in the show. They're still working, jobbing, acting. Like, it's hard. The industry is hard.
No, I'm not frowning upon another job. I meant, like, in terms of, like, for example, you can't, like you just said, you come out, the money and the stuff that you thought you had whilst in the show is not there, and therefore you kind of, you're desperate, so you take any sort of gig, not like everyday job.
Well, you don't know the reality because you've been put into a show that creates artists, but it's not even that. The most brutal, genius thing about it is a very glorified karaoke show. You know, you're singing songs, other people's songs. You know, none of them ever do their own songs, and very few of them make it as original artists. The X Factor tour goes on and after, where a lot of them can make money from it, and they're touring other people, touring cover songs again. You know,
would you say you both want to be famous?
Oh no, not at all. Like, not at all.
It's tough.
It just comes with the territory.
It's a tough question.
I think you can change it. There's so many presenters out there that are in the public eye but not necessarily famous. So I think there's a big difference in that. If you got that position, if you get to a position where I'm like a mainstream presenter, there's so many presenters. There's Ben Shepherd, there's people that you don't actually know about their personal life.
Even if you don't like it, like, you have to pretend, because I just want to make music, and you just want to present, but what about all the other stuff that comes with it?
But then I think there's a choice you make, isn't it? There's so many people that don't put their personal lives out there. You just got to stay there. There's so many people that are actually married and like
You
you've
don't
got
even
kids.
know, yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
even know. Like you don't even know. And I think when you get in there, this is how you got to do it from the start. You're either an open book, and then you deal with the. You got to deal with the kind of onslaught of fame.
I can't deal.
Or
with
you
that.
kind of just make a decision when you're kind of getting into the industry and go, look, how do you want to play it?
Yeah.
And then obviously, look, there's some stuff that you could become a viral hit, or you could be in a film, and they could be hot, and then they will pry into that life. Like obviously that stuff you can't.
I guess you have to learn to accept it, because like I never did things like this before. Like I never liked doing things like this. And it's tough because it comes with it, and you don't have a choice. But to be perfectly honest, I don't know what else I would do. I make music. Like I don't know what else I would do. So
it's the love, isn't it?
Would you two want to be famous?
I don't want to be famous. No,
I don't.
That's the thing. It contradicts what let's say what I'm trying to achieve as well. Because if you want to be an actor and you want to be a successful actor, you can't then say, well, but I don't want to be famous, because then how far do you want to go? Like, do you get what I'm saying? So for me, it comes with the territory, but I'm not doing it for fame. That's not a goal of mine.
So if Love Island come to you guys now,
he'd
look,
go on it
I've had
100%.
reality shows that I've turned down.
Really?
go man, I want to ride on someone's coattails. All right, listen.
There was one BBC. I think it might have been a BBC Three show. It was shot in South Africa, funny enough, but I didn't know that at the time. And it was a couple show. So they reached out. This is back. I'll tell you who I was with at the time.
Is it blank?
It could have been blank.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, they basically said it's a competitive show, X amount of different couples, and we're taking you to a certain island, exotic island, and you'll be competing for X amount, blah, blah, blah.
I think
blah.
I've seen it,
But they can't reveal too
God.
much. And obviously I turned it down at the time as well. And then there was another one.
What has TV become?
I know.
There's another one. It's just like I don't want to say trash shows, because I'm not calling the shows
It
trash.
is
But
They're quite good, some of them. I'm not gonna lie.
they're entertaining. They're entertaining.
Yeah.
But I think it depends what you want to establish yourself as well. You've got to know what you want to brand yourself as. 'cause
I've
you
seen
can't
people
really
do that, and then they don't get any work
Yeah,
in
but
what
then
they
if you
wanted
remember-
to do.
do
Yeah.
reality.
No, but
like-
it is a platform though, guys. Like,
What are you gonna
let's
do?
not knock it.
What about you
Oh,
doing?
well, definitely.
No, I'm not
not.
saying nothing wrong with it.
I'm Indian, man. Like, I ain't getting away with that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I ain't
Ticking
getting away
that
with
box.
that. Like, no, but 100. This is why you see no Indians or like Asian, that many Asians on these shows, because you wouldn't get away with it. Like, you wouldn't even get away
Within
with
your
like,
family, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
like
just-
my family would be
right.
like just generally like.
Yeah.
They would be like cussing me if I was like, or just when my nan watching
Your mum
anything.
would like pick you up.
Yeah, like
turn up
I
on
would
the
get
island.
disowned. I would get disowned. Like, do you know what I mean?
See, I think I've already desensitized.
Been disowned.
No, I've already desensitized.
Hopefully they don't.
I've already desensitized my parents when I was young, and I showed them everything that could happen.
When
And
you
I
were
said,
how young? What are you talking
I
about?
say about 14, 15, they caught me with like 3 girls in a tent. And then,
Excuse me?
Humble brag.
Yeah. I was
Freeze,
no, I
mate.
didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know what I was
He
doing.
didn't say what he's doing either.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it was just 3 girls. We were just playing, you know.
Playing what?
What is it?
Find the D.
Yeah, find the D. Yeah.
Where's the Donald?
Yeah. No, but my mom's caught me like in a lot of like different
Tents.
like
I don't think we should ask
situations.
anymore. We should ask
No,
anymore.
I know, but she has. But now
This
she's
is
like
going down
when
the
I
rabbit
hole.
when,
Poor mum.
yeah when I turned 2021, she was like, I'm not gonna be surprised at what you do next. So I was just okay.
So that was your free ticket.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do whatever. Now. Yeah, but
Basically,
no.
I should have gone go hard, go young.
Yeah,
innit?
I should have.
That's how I
Yeah,
should have done.
yeah. Because like at the time, like we were supposed to go to Paris, and my parents didn't know I smoke, so I just showed it in front of them. And like for me, that was such a risk because my dad's belt was about to come out, and like my
I
mom's.
think after the 10 situation, it's all good, right?
I mean, yeah.
That sets the bar.
Yeah. It's like let your son smoke. He's been with girls.
Yeah.
But no, it went like that. But yeah, no, I think I those parents, you kind of have to kind of just show him young. Cause like I'm the black sheep of the family. Like, my brother ain't. He's like the guy. But yeah.
Jealousy there.
No, jealousy. I love my brother. I love the fact that he didn't do the same mistakes that I did when I was growing up. I think that's a good contrast of me and him. So
Yeah, I think that's the benefit of being like I'm the eldest sibling as well. So that's the benefit of being older. You can sort of teach them your mistakes as well.
yeah,
Right.
definitely.
So would you go on a reality show, Juggy?
I wouldn't.
No?
I wouldn't. Nah, I wouldn't. Just because the way I'm
Take
being
away
brought
that
up,
sort of principle,
no,
like
but just the way I've been brought up, the way I like kind of I don't know. That's not the way I shape my career. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm building it now. If I wasn't in it, I would consider it. Say I woke up now, I'm 30 years old, and go, now I want to get in presenting. That is the easiest way because it's a platform, right? And they do get great opportunities, and you can't knock that. Like some of them have become actors and from there and stuff like that. You can't knock the platform, but for me, it's not the right thing. Like for my family, for my values, for everything like that.
Brand,
It's not.
that's
Yeah,
right.
That's what I mean when I say everyone's journey is different. Like you can do it, like you say, you can go into presenting or reality show first and still get a gig or get a Hollywood movie role.
Depends
Everyone's
what, though,
journey is
you know?
different. Huh?
These reality shows have become trash TV. Like I think we should do a reality show where they put politicians in minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Interesting. Big Brother with politicians.
Yeah, just get like, you know.
Do you remember that Big Brother where the politician was like a cat?
Yeah,
He's like the weird
that's some weird.
literally, never remember, right? And he's doing that, he's like meowing and stuff.
I was like,
I don't remember that.
I don't want to know what's in your bedroom, brother, because it seems a bit weird.
It was like something from Pornhub. I'm not gonna lie. Weird. He's gonna be like giggling.
Big Brother cat meow. I used to watch that all the time, but reality
Used
TV.
to watch what all the time.
Yeah, used to. Maybe later. No, but reality. Do you know what? I've watched Love Island one time because I was really anti. I was like, no, I'm not wasting my time. I feel guilty for wasting time as well watching stuff like that. I feel like as I'm watching it, I think there's so many good like proactive things I could be doing right now.
No, but you know what? That's where people get wrong, man. I think
the reality
you need to
TV
let yourself have that.
No,
like, kind of.
it's true. It's true.
Now we have this perception of reality TV though. It's like, does Joe Rogan count as reality TV? When people talking about real life stuff, does this, or is it just have to be people doing dumb shit on an island?
I wouldn't say like a podcast like Joe Rogan is reality TV because they're not trying to act per se. They're just
so it's just people doing ridiculous.
Yeah, but that is still
I
real though, isn't it?
But that's what I mean. It's become this it's trash TV.
But then I guess it depends on what you define as reality TV because I feel like a lot of it is showing up to the cameras and putting on a persona, trying to achieve this. Whereas if you go on a podcast, I think sometimes you might want to plug something.
Yeah.
The show I did when I was 18, it was reality TV, and it was just putting me in a ridiculous situation that I've never been in. So that's what it was, but that was 10 years ago. You know?
I think everything is perspective, how people look at things. Like everyone, I think, has rules and how they look at different things. Like me and Ro would probably look at Joe Rogan Experience as a reality because they had Snowden in there, a guy that's actually been...
they're talking about real stuff. I mean, why do they call it reality? It's ironic they call it reality when you put 20 people on an island. That is so far from reality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, let's put 20...
So your definition of reality TV is more so it's real TV.
Yeah.
See, mine's kind of the opposite. I see it as not real TV.
Well, I don't think...
I agree. I see it.
So I think,
sad.
Yeah, I think with that, just call it fake TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Fakeality.
But they call it structured reality, don't they?
Yeah.
They
But
call
it is literally pre-planned. So I've
that
seen
would make
these
more
things.
sense.
They do. They go like structured reality. Like in front of like all the TV shows. This is for entertainment purposes. Some things have been orchestrated, which is like what they have to do now. Like, and I think fair play, man. We're all creating entertainment. If they're doing it and it's in at the moment, why not? Like, fair play to you.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I remember one time I watched Big Brother. Going back to that, and I was a fan of it. But do you know, they also play like the 1 hour highlight each night, but then also it's 24 hours as well on another channel. Yeah. And one night I was up at my mate's.
24 hours.
Yeah, it's just
back in the day. You're talking about back in the day.
Yeah, streaming all the time. Maybe not anymore. But I remember one night I watched it. I was with my friend in London. We watched it and it was all kicking off. And then obviously we watched it the following night. But that night we see how everything panned out. The following night it was constructed in such a different way to like make shift your perspective to look at the situation.
Really?
So it just shows you how things can be perceived differently to how it actually happened as well. Like
you got characters and you got like you want to make some people the villains, some people the heroes, some people the thing, and it's just like, and you got to be prepared for that when you kind of. I do rate the people that just say yes though. Like I always wanted to be the person that any opportunity comes, say yes.
Yeah, and then figure it out.
I don't know. I feel like there's certain type of people that go on those shows want to be famous for the sake of being famous, right?
Sometimes I think people just lost and like maybe just want an opportunity. I don't think like I think a lot of people now, maybe at the beginning they went on for the experience. I think now, they think about the followers, they think about what they can gain afterwards. But I think
I'm not opposed at all.
If that's your thing, I don't want to be famous for being a
Would you go on?
I'm not opposed, but I want to be there to just fuck shit up. I think just be like my normal
self.
Go
on, man.
Oh yeah,
trust me, just to be my normal self.
I would be your normal self.
My normal self.
See, if I did go on, not that I could see that happening, but if I did, I would go on with an agenda. Because I just see it as fake TV.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd want to make it entertaining. I wouldn't act like I'm not either. I'd say like when I'm in the diary room or whatever, this is what I'm gonna do, like play out a character. Yeah. I've seen someone do that.
Well, like Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah, we've learned that now. We've learned that. I don't know if you heard about Paris Hilton.
And she was playing up to
all this time, for years.
Well, that makes sense.
Really?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I think a little bit.
Time, though.
No, but I think a little bit. She must be a little bit like.
Sometimes I think
like that.
Donald. Imagine Donald Trump's doing that, and he's
But
secretly
clever
a British actor.
Very.
You know what I'd do though if they put me into like a Big Brother house? I will play the whole split situation where my personality just changes every day. Where I would just like go to diary room and just create my own fucking world. It's like, where am I?
Reality TV bosses, sign him up right now.
Mum, just like start walking like
sign him up. Man.
Yeah, but no, that would be sick. Right, guys, before we go, I'm going to ask you about what obviously projects that are coming out soon. So, Rowan, what was the project that you're bringing out
Music wise, I've got a song called Come Close with KVNE. It's my remix. It's out on the 23rd of October.
Okay, I'll play that at the end of it. How about you, Juggy?
So we've got my short film about diversity, ticking that box, coming out to YouTube platform next month. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, we're definitely going to push that. And before we go, we're going to play one of Rowan's songs.
It's a little
Right
sneak
now.
preview.
I'm not a dancer.
I like it. Who's the guy in it? KVNE.
KVNE, yeah. You have to pretend you like it.
Love this. It's actually really catchy. Yeah, really catchy.
Yeah.
Fire. Fire in the booth.
I like it. I like it.
You gonna rap?
I'm not rapping.
Go on, freestyle.
I'm looking forward to seeing this when it comes out.
Definitely,
No,
guys.
I just make it, you know.
Yeah, we're definitely going to write your socials on when the show notes come out. And guys, one thing that I want to say, I want to, on behalf of Diaries For Discussion podcast, I want to say our deepest condolences for Breonna Taylor's family and obviously what's gone on. And also with all of the social injustice right now, please just keep your chin up. And if there's anything we can help with, give us a shout, and yeah, we'll get to you as quick as we can at Diaries FD on our Instagram and at
diariesfd@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's right. And guys, thank you for our beautiful guest today.
Thank you very
talented
much.
guest. Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
guys.
Thank you.
Definitely, there's gonna be some bombs coming in. But yeah,
go.
right, ready. Bye. Peace out. Peace out. So many cameras. Which camera am I?
Any camera you want.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
my one.
Yeah.
The dance
Thank
is
you
going
guys.
now.